I'm wildly filtering spoilers in the dimensional chat group. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26 Yang Xiaomui Awakens. Li Xiaoyao's situation was even simpler. Li Xiaoyao, who had returned from the fairy island, had eaten the forget worry goo. So after saving his aunt, he also fell asleep. Chat groups don't care whether you agree or not to pull people in. After the anchor point is locked directly, they will be pulled into the chat group. So Li Xiaoyao was pulled into the chat group in his sleep. He didn't even hear the prompt sound. Li Yu went directly to the points page. The balance of 370,000 points. Before, there were 270,000 points left in the Naruto world plus 100,000 from Kenshin Himura. A total of 370,000. 200,000 points were directly put on the immortal body. As the points were strengthened, the energy in Li Yu's body increased again, and the ability of wood release was awakened. In the ninjutsu that Uchiha Madara gave Li Yu, there was also wood release. After all, it was the technique of a good friend, and Uchiha Madara could be said to be very familiar with it. Li Yu learned some simple techniques below level A directly. As for those above level A, you can either study them slowly by yourself, or learn them with one click. It should be noted here that the levels of ninjutsu in the Naruto world are not divided according to power, but according to the difficulty of learning and the degree of danger. Name: Li Yu source level, Tiger, X, bloodline quality, Sage body, crazy, Sharingan, crazy, source skills, basic breathing method, Tiger, golden light curse, ghost, Yang 5 thunder, ghost, ninjutsu, wood release, Tiger / crazy, Manger key crazy. Comprehensive level, crazy. This is Li Yu's current panel. Looking at his own data, Li Yu began to think. The quality of the Sage body in Sharingan is obviously inconsistent with the performance in the original work of Hashirama. The ability of the true Thousand Hands to transform into Buddha obviously exceeds the limit of the crazy level. Is it because of the Sage technique? There is no so-called natural energy in Li Yu's world. In other words, it is impossible to reach the peak level of Hashirama simply by relying on the Sage body. If it is based on destructive power, the limit of the crazy level can reach the point where a town can be destroyed at full power. If it reaches the destruction level, it is said that the terrain can be changed by waving the hand. At the dragon level, it is comparable to the arrival of a natural disaster at full power. It can be said that there is an insurmountable gap between the levels. If it is said that the immortal body plus the immortal art of natural energy can fully display the power of wood release, that is, a higher level of energy, then, the art of forming the elixir, the source elixir, is a necessary step to make the source power more pure and further improve it. After the source elixir is formed, the source power will be more condensed and pure, so before the source elixir is formed, the source power level will always be displayed as Tiger, X, not insufficient in quantity, but insufficient in quality. Therefore, the source master needs to be assessed and evaluated comprehensively. The quality and quantity of the source power and the source skills and bloodline together are the comprehensive strength of a person. Then I must get the strongest alchemy technique. At worst I can use points to learn. Li Yu thought to himself. Since it is the strongest alchemy, the quality of the source pill must be the strongest. You must know that the quality of the source power produced by the source pill also affects the power of the source skill. For example, for the same source skill, the power is 10. The lowest level of the source pill can only be 12 to 15, while the power of the high level source pill is more than 20. The ordinary source power can only be 10, and if the skills are not good, it may even be only 7, 8, or 9. Snap. Li Yu clapped his hands. This is why the first generation of Wood Escape conquered the world, and Yamato could only do greening. The energy is completely not at the same level. Funny, Yamato came out to be beaten. And the limit of the Sharingan is the eternal Manger key. To be honest, the limit of the eternal eye is just like that. Even the perfect Susanoo was beaten by the real Thousand Hands. So if you want to break through the upper limit of the mad level, you have to evolve into the Samsara eye. At that time, if you see someone who is unhappy, a Shianji Zengxing will be smashed down on you. I just ask if you are afraid. At this moment, Li Yu, who was about to go to bed, suddenly felt a strange energy fluctuation. His observation haki unfolded. After sensing the situation in the next unit, Li Yu's face changed, and he flashed away. At Yang Xiaomo's house. After practicing, Yang Xiaomo suddenly entered a mysterious state during her practice. This is a sign of the awakening of the power of blood. Her mind was in a special state. She could not perceive anything in the outside world. At this moment, in the living room of Yang Xiaomo's house, a strange wave came. A woman wearing a blood-red ancient costume and with a green face appeared in the living room. Yang Xiaomo's adoptive parents were watching TV in the living room. As a result, they were startled by the guy who suddenly appeared. Weird natural disaster. Liu Heo and his wife immediately recognized what this thing was in front of them. Why did it suddenly appear here? Liu Heo's face was full of tension. There are many types of natural disasters, such as the disaster beasts that suddenly appeared 100 years ago. There are also weird types that appear randomly. There are also infected types that mutate source beasts. 100 years ago, endless disaster beasts appeared on the ground, catching humans off guard. After suffering heavy losses, humans built high walls outside the city to keep out the disaster beasts. However, weird natural disasters can appear in the city in incredible ways. Looking at the sudden weirdness, Liu Heo suddenly remembered something. Duanzhao, go and see my daughter. People with awakened blood are a great tonic for natural disasters. Whether on the battlefield or in the wild, those with awakened blood are the primary targets of natural disasters. Especially those who are in the process of blood awakening, there is a high probability that they will be attacked by natural disasters. Duanzhao ran quickly towards Yang Xiaomo's bedroom. When she opened the door, Duanzhao secretly said that it was true. At this time, Yang Xiaomo had entered the state of blood awakening. Daheo, my daughter has entered the state of blood awakening. Is that so? Liu Heo gritted his teeth. There were no signs of blood awakening. Even Li Yu, who had the observation haki, had been thinking that Yang Xiaomo might awaken some blood. He was not sure that she would awaken. Therefore, many people with awakened blood would be attacked by natural disasters because they were caught off guard. Quickly notify the night watchman. We must stop this thing. The child's awakening process must not be interrupted. This is related to the child's future. Okay. Duanzhao nodded and took out the communicator to call the night watchman. The night watchman is similar to the police organization on Earth. The main responsibility is to patrol at night and protect people's safety. Duanzhao went to make a phone call. Liu Heo stepped forward and blocked the strange. Facing the strange, Liu Heo was not afraid at all. Although Yang Xiaomo was his adopted child, after so many years of getting along, she was better than his own child. So, you want to touch my daughter? Get past me first. Chapter 27 Weird. However, although Liu was full of confidence, his ideals were full of hope and his reality was bold. After just one encounter, Liu Heo was knocked down by the female ghost. Liu Heo and his wife were not very talented, and they could barely form a pill with their source power cultivation. They also used the worst alchemy technique, so their strength was not strong. Facing the natural disaster, they could only be overturned to the ground helplessly after barely resisting 1 or 2 times. Just as the other party was about to kill him, there was a bang. The door of the house was directly broken, and wood chips were everywhere. Bold monster. A flash of lightning passed by, and Li Yu's figure instantly blocked Liu Heo's body. Boom. The fist shining with golden light hit the female ghost directly. What Li Yu didn't expect was that the female ghost was hit by him with all his strength, but she only retreated 3 or 4 meters. He thought that this punch would blow her up. What's the situation with Uncle Liu? Li Yu asked, looking at Liu Heo behind him. Xiao Yu, be careful. My little sister is awakening her bloodline, and this weirdness is directed at her. Liu Heo looked at the pig in front of him. Ugh, it was the young man in front of him. He was very emotional. Originally, he was familiar with his daughter's childhood sweetheart. After all, the two of them were together every day. But as the saying goes, the more the father-in-law looks at his son-in-law, the more he dislikes him. Liu Heo didn't like this pig that liked his cabbage very much on weekdays. But he didn't expect that at this moment today. It was this kid who stood in front of him. Zio, you, be careful. We have called the night watchman, and the night watchman will be here soon. Don't force it. Duan Zio looked at Liu and reminded him with concern. I know, auntie. Liu looked at the female ghost in front of him seriously. Fan King's face, with only white eyes and no pupils. What do you think? Is Kohyuga's family? Liu complained in his heart. The blood-red ancient-style skirt covered his whole body, and his body floated about 20 centimeters above the ground. The nails of the exposed hands were sharp and slender, shining coldly like small daggers. Liu Heo was scratched by her claws, and his arm was still bleeding. Liu stared at the unlucky thing in front of him. He was not going to wait for the night watchman to deal with it. He wanted to kill this thing that dared to attack Yang Xiaomi. Golden light duck shape. The condensed golden light turned into several sharp swords and rushed towards the female ghost. Ding ding ding. The golden swords hit the opponent's body and made a sound of metal clashing. The golden light was actually shattered. Swish. The next second, the female ghost appeared directly in front of Liu and grabbed his heart with her palm. Of course, under Liu's vision, her movements were clear. After dodging sideways, the fist with lightning directly hit the opponent's head. Boom. The female ghost was blown away by the powerful fist. Her head was deflated. But the next second it recovered as before. This guy has strong defense and recovery ability. Liu thought to himself. He didn't use all his strength, for he was afraid that Liu Heo's house would be demolished by him. Uncle Liu, I'm going to increase the power of my source skills. This female ghost is quite powerful and may cause some damage to your house. Don't worry, Xiao. As long as my little sister can be awakened safely, a house is nothing. Liu Heo immediately said to Liu. He and Duan Xiao have no children, and Yang Xiaomi is the apple of their eyes. Since the female ghost in front of them wants to attack his apple of their eyes, they can't let her go. What's the big deal about destroying a house? Anyway, the house prices in Dangsha are really not expensive. Zzzz. Liu's whole body was flashing with lightning. The next second, a bucket-thick lightning was shot out from his palm. Palm lightning. Boom. The room was pale under the lightning. Liu Heo and his wife squinted their eyes unconsciously. The lightning went straight through the chest of the female ghost. The wall of the room was blasted with a big hole. Is this female ghost dead? Looking at the female ghost whose body was blasted away, Liu Heo and his wife asked cautiously. But before Liu could speak, a dark breath came out of the ghost girl's body. Her body was repaired. It looks like she's not dead. Liu narrowed his eyes and said, I saw it. Then kill her again, and this time blow her whole body apart. Liu didn't finish his words. The next second, the ghost girl in front of him split into two. 2 became 4. 4 became 8. Then the 8 figures dispersed, and 6 surrounded Liu. 2 rushed towards Yang Xiaomu's room. Damn. Liu's eyes glared, and then his whole body was full of golden light. Half of his source power was transferred to the golden light spell. Suddenly, the thick golden light enveloped Yang Xiaomu's room. The dazzling golden light was like an iron wall and copper wall, isolating all dangers from the wall. Bang. The 2 ghosts were directly bounced back by the golden light. The 6 ghosts attacking Liu were blocked by a red transparent skeleton arm. Liu was surrounded by red energy skeletons. All the attacks of the female ghost were blocked, and Liu's eyes also turned into a kaleidoscope. This guy's too difficult to deal with. He can't use it in the room at all. Liu thought to himself. Then, he waved his Susanu's arm directly. All 8 ghosts flew out from the window. With a bang, the glass window and the wall shattered instantly. All 8 ghosts were beaten out of the building by Liu and fell on the open space in the community. Wood clone technique. The 4 clones of Liu stood in 4 directions directly. Tenshensi Mayan 4 purple flame formation. In order to prevent the opponent from running around, Liu directly used the barrier to block an area. Look at me blowing you all up one by one and see how you recover. Liu said as the kaleidoscope in his eyes spun wildly. Then Susanoo, which only had ribs and arms, gradually transformed into a translucent half-body skeleton giant. Then the skeleton giant grew flesh and blood armor. The next second, a golden sword appeared in the giant's hand. Golden light transformation plus Susanoo combination. Boom. Susanoo swung the sword in his hand fiercely. The 3 female ghosts clones were blown up immediately. Ding. Zzzz. Behind Liu, there was a sound of metal collision. It was the female ghost who went around behind him. The sharp nails were wrapped in black air and attacked Susanoo fiercely. What Liu didn't expect was that the tip of the nail actually scratched Susanoo's defense and inserted about half a centimeter. It was really strong to be able to scratch Susanoo's defense, especially her clone, which actually had 100% of the power of the original body. But it's useless. Liu controlled Susanoo to fight back and explode. Seeing Liu break his clone again, the female ghost's expressionless face finally showed a trace of anger. Oh, are you angry too? I thought you beasts have no feelings. Or is anger just your instinct? Liu crossed his arms and stared at the female ghost in front of him with scowled eyes. He said in a calm tone, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28 The Third Eye. Liu's words seemed to stir up a hornet's nest. The ghost's clones began to appear crazily. Liu did not tolerate her. Susanoo was unleashed. For a moment, there were thunder and lightning, and golden light flashed. The community was also awakened by the noise. A group of people stared at the mighty Liu in amazement. The energy giant made the onlookers dumbfounded. The night watchmen had arrived long ago. They could only stare and do nothing outside the barrier. The ghost's clones had increased to dozens. They were densely packed in the barrier. Captain, this weird thing is playing 100 Ghosts Night Parade. A member of the Night Watch team said to their captain. The current situation is that the weirdness keeps splitting up. Even if you kill the main body, it will reassemble, as if it is endless. Although this little brother in front of me has always been in the upper hand, it is inevitable that his source power will be exhausted at that time. To be honest, this little brother is stronger than me. Once his source power can't hold up, our team may not be the opponent of this weirdness. The captain of the Night Watchman team, with a comprehensive evaluation of 3 stars in the ghost level. It should be no problem for you to let him deal with 3 or 5 clones, but facing this dense weirdness, I'm afraid he can't hold on for long. Don't worry, the main body will still be fine, but this thing is too annoying. Liu's clone comforted him next to him. According to the recovery speed of Liu's immortal body, it can indeed be completely consumed. But this endless female ghost is really too annoying. Kill one and another will appear. The original body that appeared at the beginning was smashed 4 or 5 times by Liu, but it still didn't work. In terms of strength, the female ghost is at most the strength of a 3-star ghost source master. But this immortality and the ability of the clone can make the opponent overturn even when facing a 1-star madman. What should we do, Captain? This thing has resurrected again. Outside the barrier, the night watchmen who were watching Liu fight were more anxious than Liu himself. They wanted to go in to help, but Liu was afraid of accidentally hurting friendly forces, so he directly ordered his clones not to open the door. There's no way. I've sent a message for help. The captain frowned and said, this little brother in front of me is a good seedling. He has this strength at such a young age. We can't let him get into trouble. The captain has a mad level strength, and he will arrive soon. At this time, Liu sensed that Yang Xiaomei, who was protected by the golden light curse, had woken up. He sensed that Yang Xiaomei was knocking on the wall of the golden light curse to indicate that she wanted to come out. Liu didn't think much about it and directly revoked the protection of the golden light curse. Liu. Yang Xiaomei ran over from a distance and was stunned when she saw the powerful Liu. You guys are cheating. Yang Xiaomei really didn't expect that Liu would become so strong in just over a week. If it were Liu in this state, Wu Yiqian would have been beaten into 2 small pancakes with 1 punch. As for Liu, he didn't respond after listening to Yang Xiaomei's complaints. What kind of prophet is this? He will kill you with a knife when he turns around. Did he tell Yang Xiaomei that he was indeed cheating? Obviously, it was impossible. So Liu directly changed the subject. Did your blood awaken successfully? Yes. Speaking of this, Yang Xiaomui changed the subject. I'll help. Liu was frightened by Yang Xiaomui's words. Don't be so confident. This thing is not easy to deal with. Yang Xiaomui watched Liu say that it was not easy to deal with while directly crushing the two female ghost clones. It's like someone is saying that you are too strong while holding you with one hand. Right, Jiu Loma? I won't talk nonsense with you. Without me, you can't deal with it today. Yang Xiaomui snorted, put the index finger and middle finger together, and raised her hand to wipe her forehead. At this time, Liu also found that there was a golden vertical mark on Yang Xiaomui's forehead. The golden vertical mark on Yang Xiaomui's forehead added a touch of mystery to her. Looking at this vertical mark, coupled with Yang Xiaomui's familiar movements, Liu said in his heart, no way. Could this be? Sure enough, the next second, Yang Xiaomui's forehead flashed with golden light. A vertical eye slowly opened. Heavenly eye, divine power. Liu was frightened. Could Yang Xiaomui's ancestor's surname Yang be related to that person? The next second, Yang Xiaomui's third eye flashed with golden light. It directly swept towards the female ghosts. Liu. They are not the real body. Its real body is an embroidered shoe. It can move its position on the clone at any time. All the female ghosts are actually transformed from the embroidered shoes. So that's it. Liu immediately understood. It turns out that all the female ghosts are not the real body. No wonder it's useless to kill them, no matter how many times. This natural disaster is not weird, but a weird object. Weird objects refer to items with weird abilities. It is said that 60 years ago, a strange creature directly destroyed a town with a population of 300,000. Each strange creature has different abilities. Now that there is information about the strategy, Liu will no longer hold back. Directly output with strong force. The two arms of Sasuke condensed into a sharp blade made of golden light. Lightning was wrapped around it. With one sword, the female ghost died if she touched it, and shattered if she touched it. Boom. In the end, there were only 3 female ghosts left, and Liu directly sprinkled a piece of lightning. The 3 female ghosts were instantly destroyed by lightning. Only a red embroidered shoe was left. TSK, no wonder there was no end to the killing before. I thought that the female ghost who appeared at the beginning was the real body, but I didn't expect that it was a strange creature hiding among the female ghosts. Liu thought to himself. If it weren't for Yang Xiaomui's third eye, this thing would be really hard to be discovered. Among the ghosts, the energy and feeling of each ghost are exactly the same. The embroidered shoes are perfectly integrated into it. Therefore, Liu's observation color can't tell the difference from the Sharingan. So thinking of this, Liu couldn't help but admire that Yang Xiaomui's awakened ability was really amazing. But then again, if it was really inherited from that person's bloodline, wouldn't it be natural to do such a thing? Even this is just the beginning. The potential of this eye is far more than that. But things are not over yet. From the moment the embroidered shoes were exposed, Liu glared directly. Amaterasu. This is Liu's fastest attack now. There is no time difference. Wherever his eyes reach, he will catch you with a glare. The black flames instantly covered the embroidered shoes. There was no chance for it to transform into a female ghost again. After 3 seconds, the embroidered shoes turned directly into a wisp of black smoke and dissipated. This time, the strange thing was completely destroyed. As for why Liu was so sure, of course, it was because he received a prompt from the chat group. Destroy the ghost level 3-star strange thing. Reward points of 10,000 points. Well, Liu feels okay. This score is reasonable. The ability of this strange thing is not difficult to deal with. If it hadn't seen through its ability, Liu would have destroyed it long ago. So, some enemies just have the wrong strategy to defeat. But once you know the enemy's intelligence, it is still very easy to come up with a strategy. Don't you agree, Hidden? Chapter 29, Breaking the Delusion Eye. After Liu solved the strange creature, he withdrew the 4 purple flame formation. Liu, you are really strong now. If you go to the rating, you will definitely be a ghost level 3-star. Yang Xiaomui walked up and said happily. Given their relationship, she was naturally very happy that Liu had become stronger. I'm afraid it's more than that. Brotherly Yu's strength is probably comparable to the berserker level. I'm a ghost level 3-star strength, and I admit that I can't compare with you. The captain of the night watch team at the scene came over and said to the two of them. He stretched out his hand and said to Liu, you are probably using the power of bloodline. I have never seen a few people who can reach your strength before forming a pill. I'm Feng Yang, let me meet you. Liu is a senior student at King Hei No. 1 Middle School. Liu shook hands with Feng Yang. This is the protagonist tonight. I'm Yang Xiaomi, the strange creature attracted by her awakening bloodline. Liu introduced to Feng Yang. Hello, we will verify the losses caused as soon as possible and then make insurance claims. Since the Blood Awakeners are excellent talent reserves, if they are attacked by natural disasters during the awakening process, the losses caused will be compensated by the country's professional insurance institutions. After all, the country has always given preferential treatment to talents who can resist natural disasters in the future. After dealing with the things here, Feng Yang also led the team back home. As for the captain, he received a message that the natural disaster was resolved just halfway through the journey and went home halfway. He sent Yang Xiaomi home directly. Liu Heo and Duan Xiao excitedly stepped forward and hugged their daughters. Today is really thanks to Xiao. Duan Xiao said excitedly. Yes, if this kid hadn't arrived in time, the consequences today would be really unimaginable. Liu Heo couldn't help but sigh. Hey, it's okay, Uncle Liu, we are all friends. Liu said on the spot that these were all trivial matters. Can he not save his future wife? Originally, Liu Heo, who was in a good mood and had a happy face, was not so beautiful after listening to Liu's words. This pig just took a fancy to his own cabbage. But there is no point in worrying, and we can only let it go. After saying hello, Liu also said goodbye and went back to his home. After talking with Yang Xiaomi just now, Liu also found out Yang Xiaomi's eye is called the Sky Eye of Delusion Breaking. As for the ability, it cannot be said to be completely unrelated to the legendary Erlang Shen's eye. It can only be said to be the same. But the power is weakened countless times. There is no way. After all, Yang Xiaomi's strength is still very low now. It is normal that she can't exert the power of the Sky Eye. When you wait for her to reach the extinction level, the monsters will have nowhere to hide where the golden light shines. Now Yang Xiaomi's university does not have to worry. Danxia Kingdom in the eastern continent has 13,258 cities distributed in all directions of Danxia Kingdom. In the entire Danxia Kingdom, there are 6,251 universities. The top 10 universities are located in the top 10 main cities. To be admitted to the top 10 universities, potential and strength are indispensable. In Danxia, in addition to the main city, cities are divided into levels 1 to 4. King Hei City is a third-level city with a permanent population of 67 million people, and less than 300 people are admitted to the top 10 universities every year. It can be seen how low the probability is. Before the formation of the elixir, everyone's source power quality is similar, so the competition is the source skill and bloodline power. Especially an excellent bloodline, the bonus to combat power is very terrifying. Being able to awaken the same bloodline of that person, Liu thinks that Yang Xiaomi is stable this time. And from the current situation, Liu thinks that there must be a mythological era in ancient times. He has heard the rumor that the bloodline that was awakened by the strongest alchemy last time was called Liu Makuk. Although other information has not been revealed, Liu has already taken notice of this name. The ancient times of this world must be related to that group of immortals. So, Liu didn't think about it carefully. He would definitely know all these puzzles after he became stronger. Let's set a small goal first, and then reach the dragon level. I heard that the mayor of the 10 main cities is a dragon level 3-star source master. I don't know if it's true or not. The next day, Liu and Yang Xiaomi went to school normally. But what happened last night did spread like the wind. The whole King Hei No. 1 middle school was spread all over the awakening of the two people's blood. Especially Liu's Susanoo. It looks handsome and strong, but the classmates are jealous. So according to Liu's previous theory, all acquaintances met him today and laughed and called him a senior. Moreover, it's not just King Hei No. 1 middle school. The video of Liu taken last night spread throughout the 18 middle schools in King Hei City. Liu was completely popular, and he was even crowned the title of King Hei City's college entrance examination champion in advance. But it's normal. After all, in previous years, even those children of famous families, or the national champions who awakened some advanced blood in the college entrance examination, the strongest were almost the level shown by Liu. Of course, it doesn't mean that Liu's blood power is stronger than those people. In the past, there were also many blood awakeners with extinction potential. It's just because others have not practiced for a long time at the age of senior high school. Liu directly relied on the points in the chat group to brush experience and improve development efficiency. This time the comparison came out. After enjoying a day of campus life, Liu returned home. When he returned to the community, Liu found that all the damage caused by the battle last night had been repaired. It should be said that the efficiency is really good. After dinner, Yang Xiaomui sent messages to Liu for a while and then went to practice. Liu directly opened the chat group. Practice? It doesn't exist. Why do you need to practice if you can add points? Liu. I just want to cheat. When Liu entered the chat group, he found that it was quite lively at this time. Zhang Chulan, Zhao Gao, you have seen the plot of the myth. Zhang Chulan, if you ask me, Yi Zhaochuan is really a piece of shit. Zhang Chulan, logically speaking, you two are in the same group. Liu Bang hurt you so badly, just because he is the future emperor, so he protects you everywhere? Ichigo Kurosaki, I must say that I stand on Zhao Gao's side this time. Yumaruo, this is a fictional drama, right? The first emperor that I know is not like this. Ichigo Kurosaki, that's true. We worship the first emperor. Zhao Gao, what a shitty place this is. They want me to live 2000 years to go back. Zhao Gao, I'm going to collapse. Li Zhaoyao, I understand the problem, but why does Yi Zhaochuan look so much like me? Liu's mouth twitched when he saw this, and he almost laughed out loud. How can an actor not look alike? After reading it for a while, Liu also started typing on the public screen at the right time. Liu, hey, good evening, everyone. The new plot is about to begin. Please read it and recommend it to your favorites. Godfathers, please support me. Chapter 30 Chat Group Upgrade. Zhao Gao, Group Leader. Li Zhaoyao, the group leader is here. Liu, hi, you're welcome. Just call me Liu. The two had never spoken to him before, and today was the first time they communicated, so they didn't dare to be too presumptuous before they could figure out Liu's temper. Liu, speaking of which, Zhao Gao is also a modern person, and I'm just a high school student, so don't be too distant. Kamero, yes, Liu is easy to talk to. Ichigo Kurosaki, well, he helped us a lot. Zhang Chulan, Liu Luotian Daijio is about to start. Do you want to come? Liu, go. Why not? I'll go and join in the fun. Liu has been waiting for Zhang Chulan to watch Bads Under the Moon. He can't miss it, and the high definition camera is ready. Zhang Chulan, okay. Then I'll call you when I leave, and with you here, we'll definitely be safe this time. Liu, okay. Watch me suppress all enemies then. Kamero, suddenly I feel like a middle school student. Ichigo Kurosaki, aren't you all the same? Kamero, hey Liu, Li Zhaoyao, Zhao Gao, what's going on with you two now? I didn't see you two talking in the group that day. Zhao Gao, I was drinking with Yi Zhaochuan that day, the night I received the imperial edict that the emperor gave me the name Zhao Gao, and then I got drunk. Kamero, the timeline has come to this point. Ichigo Kurosaki, are you going to seek revenge on Liu Bang next? Zhao Gao, I don't know. I'm very confused now, and I don't know what to do. Yi Zhaochuan said that history cannot be changed, and all the coincidences afterwards also proved this statement, but I'm unwilling to accept it. Zhang Chulan, I support your revenge in this matter. If anyone hurts me like this, I will be crazier than you. Zhang Chulan completely understands Zhao Gao's feelings. Isn't it true? How many modern people can accept themselves becoming eunuchs? Liu was also a part-time writer at some point in his previous life. In the writer group he was in, he even knew someone who cut 31 books in a row. So, everyone felt deeply sympathetic to Zaogao's experience. Liu, these are all trivial matters. Who says that history cannot be changed? If you go back to the past, it means that this past is your present, and it is not necessarily completely unchanged. Liu, especially now that you have joined the chat group, you have all possibilities. Zaogao, but the history of the future that I traveled through is like this. If I change the future history, then the history books of the future will definitely not remain unchanged. Liu, this involves a problem of time diversion, the butterfly effect. If that is the original history, then the appearance of the chat group is the butterfly. Liu, it is an established fact that you travel back to the past in the future, so the time after you is your future. Your so-called future is actually your past. Liu, so if you change history now, you are not changing history, but creating the future. That is, a new timeline. A new timeline split at an important node. Zaogao of the Qin dynasty looked at Liu's words and was directly confused. He was not well educated to begin with, and Liu's long speech confused him, including Li Zaoyao and the group and the few people who peeked at the screen. Himura Kenshin, then my situation is. Liu, your situation is different from his. Your future is already in a new timeline, and you are already in the cycle of time. Liu, in short, there are a million ways to say this timeline. Look at the chaotic timeline of Marvel DC next door. Kamaru, restarting from time to time, parallel time and space multiverse. I can't keep up. The editorial department is coming out to get beaten. Going crazy. Liu, in short, Zaogao, remember that you have joined the chat group and have unlimited possibilities. Rebirth of broken limbs is simply a trivial matter. Liu is not bragging when he said this. Let's not talk about the distant past. For example, in the Naruto world, people use organs as plugins. It's easy to connect such a cricket-sized thing. Zaogao, thank you, Liu. Li Zaoyao, it's my turn. I want to know if I will become a great hero in the future. Liu directly uploaded the Legend of Sword and Fairy. Liu, see for yourself, and then determine which time point you are at. At this moment, a prompt sound suddenly came from the chat group. The group activity meets the upgrade X, and the chat group begins to upgrade. The countdown is 10 minutes. Liu looked at the chat group that entered the upgrade page and was stunned. Okay, this also includes an upgrade? 10 minutes passed quickly. Ding. The group upgraded successfully. Added group store function. The store randomly refreshes 10 items every month and adds permanent items. Each member is given an upgrade gift package. The gift package items are random. This directly blew up all the group members. Lucy, I was just caught by Urza on Kana Island. I was just shocked by the prompt of the chat group after receiving the sermon. Komaru, the time to verify alpha has come. I declare, I will definitely pay out gold this time. Komaru has full confidence in the lottery. You know, Komaru's explosion rate when playing games is surprisingly high on weekdays, and she is sure to grab one when grabbing dolls. I have never sunk the ship in 10 consecutive draws, and if I don't get double gold in 10 consecutive draws, it means I have no feeling today. The author shed sad tears when he said this. Zhang Chulan, give me something to increase my combat power. Sabo, hahaha. I just went out to sea for a few days, and I was still floating on the sea when I was pulled over by the notification sound of the chat group. Yakumo Yukari, covering her mouth and laughing. I have already opened the bloodline enhancement pill. Yakumo Yukari, who was lying at home, was worrying about the matter between Rumiya and Hakuro's mother. Although the two had not met for the first time, Yakumo Yukari estimated that the time would soon. Unexpectedly, the demon was sitting at home, and a gift package fell directly from the sky. Although she was very disappointed that she did not draw something that could solve the Rumiya incident, she was also lucky to get an item that could enhance her own bloodline. The world under one person. At Zhang Chulan's residence, Feng Bao looked at Zhang Chulan, who ran into the bathroom to take a bath. Curiously asked, Zhang Chulan, what are you doing? Didn't you take a bath after training? Zhang Chulan, who was washed thoroughly, found an incense burner from somewhere. Insert 3 incense sticks. I'm praying for good luck. Usually, praying before drawing a card can sometimes lead to miracles. Bang. Feng Bao clapped his hands, staring with a pair of clever eyes and said, I know. I heard from Zusi that, if Zuan doesn't save you, you can't change your fate, unless you spend money. Sister Baoa. Zhang Chulan wouldn't let her continue. Lend me some luck. Bang. Zhang Chulan patted Feng Bao on the shoulder, and then opened the gift box with his mind. Grandmaster, please bless me to get out of poverty and into Europe. I beg all godfathers, to add a collection in the follow-up. The humble author begs with tears. Chapter 31, Stand User. Superpower Electromagnetic Force Control LV4. Zhang Chulan looked at what he had opened, and felt satisfied. Electromagnetic Force Control is a perfect match for him. You know, Zhang Chulan has been catching up on a lot of movies, anime and novels recently. He was not interested in these before, but now it is different. You know, these worlds may exist in reality. So, he found a very powerful girl in one of the works. A superpower who controls electromagnetic force, LV5, known as Bilibili Canon Sister in the world. At that time, he will show a wave of super electromagnetic guns in front of all the people. Let them all see what scientific cultivation is. Pirate World New World. Sabo locked himself in the cabin. When he recovered his memory, he began to find someone to collect information about Luffy. Now Luffy has defeated Crocodile, and Ace has set off to chase Blackbird. I don't know if the two have encountered each other. As a brother, he is simply too incompetent. He has lost his memory for so many years. If there is no chat group, he will even recover his memory after Ace dies. If he can't stop Ace in time, then he will definitely go to the top war. I will never let Ace die in front of me. I hope I can get something that enhances my strength. Open the upgrade package. Purgatory Dragon's Dragon Slayer Magic Crystal. As soon as Sabo got the item, he understood the purpose of the item. The Dragon Slayer Magic Crystal from the fairy tale world, when integrated into the body, will learn the Purgatory Dragon's Dragon Slayer magic. Is it fate? Sabo smiled, while holding the Dragon Slayer Magic Crystal in his hand. According to the information given by Liu, if Ace dies, he will inherit Ace's flame fruit in the future. But now he has obtained the Purgatory Dragon's Dragon Slayer Magic Crystal. That's right, the Purgatory Dragon is a fire attribute. It seems that our brother's abilities are really compatible. Laughs. After saying that, Sabo directly merged the Dragon Slayer Magic Crystal. Naruto World. Uchiha Madara has been very busy recently. He knew that after Obito returned to Konoha, there would be a commotion, and it was indeed true. Two people who were thought to be dead came back alive. If it weren't for Minato Namake's, both of them might have to go to the torture department. Especially the existence of the Mangekyou Sharingan, which makes some people very afraid. Not to mention the troubles of Konoha, Uchiha Madara's secret base has also changed its location. It's better to be safe than sorry. What if Obito doesn't keep his mouth shut and the location of his secret base is exposed? After finishing the secret base, Uchiha Madara went to the Hidden Mist village and controlled a shadow for fun. In the original plot, Obito made the Hidden Mist village implement the Blood Mist policy. This time, Uchiha Madara is going to do the opposite, which is expected to gain a wave of points. Looking at the newly obtained gift bag, Uchiha Madara didn't care at all. He didn't believe in the illusory luck. It doesn't matter to him what he gets. Small Cosmo Cultivation Method HMM. Interesting. After understanding the information of the item, Uchiha Madara's mouth corners rose. Obviously, the small universe cultivation system is many times stronger than the ninja system. The seventh sense can punch at the speed of light. What a concept. Kaguya Satsuki can punch you through with one punch. Unfortunately, this is just a training method, not a direct way to obtain the microcosm. So it will take a long time to cultivate the microcosm. But there is no rush. Uchiha Madara plans to get it right away after earning points. The world of Bleach. A few days ago, on the anniversary of his mother's death, Ichigo Kurosaki directly cut the hollow that killed his mother into 8 pieces. There is no need to bother his father to do it. Ishida Yurai's challenge has also passed. In this hunting competition, Ichigo Kurosaki is undoubtedly the first. Even the last Killian was killed by him. He just needs to keep an eye on Rukia and wait for Byakuya Kachiki to catch people. So now he comes to Urahara's shop every day to find Kisuke Urahara to help practice. But Ichigo Kurosaki is in a different state today. No matter which direction Kisuke Urahara attacks from, Ichigo Kurosaki can detect it in advance. If you can dodge, you can dodge, and if you can't dodge, you will block. It's just like a prophet. Even if it is a sudden sneak attack, Ichigo Kurosaki can find it in time. Looking at the frustrated Urahara Kisuke, Ichigo Kurosaki couldn't help but laugh. Intuition A level intuition allows you to awaken the instinct of a beast. A certain Night King used it to dodge the attack of reversing cause and effect. Of course, it may also be because some people are lucky to only have this ability as too much of a bonus for people in the melee department. So in today's slashing training, Urahara Kisuke was suppressed. Hey, what a monster. Hey, don't be lazy, Mr. Urahara. Since Mr. Kurosaki is so excited today, let's increase the difficulty of the training. As soon as Kisuke Urahara finished speaking, Ichigo Kurosaki suddenly felt something bad. He lowered his head and dodged without hesitation. Boom. A small pit appeared on the ground, where Ichigo Kurosaki had just stood. Sister Yoruchi. Although it was the first time that Ichigo Kurosaki saw this heroic black-skinned beauty in front of him, he was definitely not unfamiliar. Yoruchi Shifungion, the former captain of the secret mobile team. Yoruchi Shunshin. Hey, Ichigo, today's training is for both of us, so sweat it out. If you two want to beat me up, just say so. Stop talking nonsense and grit your teeth. The world of the insane girl Umaru-chan. Umaru-chan is on vacation. During the vacation, she just lay in her room and acted like a hamster. Hey, what good stuff can I get? Umaru-chan looked at the upgrade gift bag and grinned happily. Her world is just an ordinary daily world without any chance to earn points. Of course, if she has the ability to make a mushroom egg explode, it will definitely change the course of the world to a great extent. But let alone whether she has the ability or not, she can't do such a crazy thing. So, although Umaru-chan envied superpowers, she couldn't force it. But what was unexpected was that today a gift bag actually hit her head directly. Hehehe. Umaru-chan's time to rise has come. Look at me and hit the target with one shot. One chance to awaken the stand. Umaru-chan looked at the things that were opened and was stunned at first, and then a scene automatically appeared in her mind. Ula. Muda. Oh, the picture is too beautiful to imagine. Then, Komari used it without hesitation. Guardian Shield, destructive power, C speed, C precision movement, B growth, A sustainability, A range, C ability to condense energy shield to fight. The shield has the power of recoil and can absorb damage and convert it into shockwaves. Woohoo. Komari stood up with her hands on her hips. Komari, from now on I'm a stand user. Chapter 30 to the Supreme Zaogeo. Then, the first thing that Mamoru did after gaining the stand ability was play games with me. Should I say that you are worthy of it? A stand with B-level operating accuracy is used by you to play fighting games. Kenshin Himura. Following Ryu's instructions, he came to Tokyo alone. Before, he didn't understand why Ryu asked him to come to Tokyo at this time, and he also reminded him to come by himself. He thought Ryu would wait for him in Tokyo, but he didn't expect it. Things turned out to be like this. In the Kamiya dojo, Kenshin drank tea leisurely. He had just solved the so-called Executioner Batosane murder case, and he was invited by Kamiya Koru to stay temporarily. Looking at the chat group that suddenly upgraded, Kenshin's heart was calm. Open the gift package casually. Power of the Time Robber 2/2. The temporary power of the Time Robber can travel to the past time and can be used twice. I see, this is the prop that Ryu uses to travel through time, and it turned out to be opened by me. Kenshin Himura looked at the blank dial in his hand and nodded with satisfaction. Thinking of Yukishiro Tomo at home, Kenshin Himura smiled, but when he saw Kamiya Koru in the dojo, Kenshin Himura's face looked a little unnatural. He said that he had a wife, but this girl seemed to still be a little unwilling to give up on him. Well, things will work out when the time comes. Lee Zioeo didn't need to say much. He had read the first part of The Legend of Sword and Fairy and naturally knew what he had experienced in the past 2 days. Those Black Mayo people wanted to make him eat the forget worry poison, which made him forget Zeolinga. This account is not so easy to settle. Let's see what the gift package can get first. Lee Zioyeo opened the gift package casually. He believed that as a great hero, his luck should not be bad. Kangoo Freedom Oath, a weapon from a certain original continent. It has a good effect. Looking at this gorgeous one-handed sword, Lee Zioyeo fell in love with it at first sight. The golden swordkin, the light blue blade, picked up the sword and waved it around. This is much more convenient than the wooden sword he cut. After putting away the sword, Lee Zioyeo went straight to the place he had agreed with the drunken swordsman. Master, wait for me, I'm here to learn magic. Zeogeo's side was even simpler. At this time, he had not yet completely turned evil, and he didn't have too many thoughts. Unlike some people, who had to burn incense and bathe to draw prizes, he directly opened the gift bag, and got 30 anti-aging pills. Anti-aging pills come from a certain movie world. If you eat one pill, you will be 1 year younger. Don't be like a certain idiot who just eats a handful and ends up turning into a little kid. P.S. The old movie Demon Dayo is very good. Looking at the pills in his hand, Zeogeo didn't know what to do next. He could only plan to ask Liu to see if he had any ideas. In the end, only Lucy was left. On the island of Connor, Lucy was tied up and lectured by Urza. The ungrateful cat harpy actually said that it was kidnapped, which really made her breasts hurt. Wait till I get something good, then I'll punch Natsu and step on Gray. Why reward Gray? Bull spell. This is one of the abilities of a certain unlucky saint. It can improve your physical fitness and strength by integrating it into yourself. The more magic you have, the more you can improve. Great. So awesome. Lucy's mind has already emerged with the scene of her punching Natsu away, but why can't she get rid of the image of the muscular girl of Baruga in her mind? I'm a lady. Why is the style so strange? Lucy said no, but her body honestly integrated the power of the bull spell. Ordinary people without energy support can become stronger than bulls by using the bull spell. Now that Lucy has magic support, the bonus must be even more terrifying. At the moment of integration, Lucy felt that her body became abnormally strong. This is the effect of the bull spell. After all, if you don't have a strong body, the power is too strong, and you will be hurt first. What is amazing is that while your physical fitness is improved, your figure has not changed at all. At the same time, the physical fitness improved, and the strength became enormous. The two complement each other. Very good. Natsu, I'm here to help. Lucy gently broke free from the rope that tied her. She downloaded the domineering training guide uploaded by Sabo in the chat group. In the past, she felt that she was weak and not suitable for this system, so she didn't download it, but now she has changed her mind. Lucy, she wants to shake the continent with her fists. No one can speak loudly to her in the future. Then Lucy opened the curtain of the tent with a heroic spirit. When she opened the door, she saw Urza's cold face, with Gray tied in one hand and Natsu tied in the other. Lucy, where are you going? Love? I want to go to the bathroom. Seconds of cowardice. Is this the legendary blood suppression? Liu looked at the chat group that went quiet in an instant, and immediately guessed that these guys went to open the box. But Liu also understood that humans have a mysterious obsession with things, like lotteries and opening boxes. It's just like when he played FGO in his previous life. He couldn't save up stones at all, so he wanted to draw whenever he had them. So for this gift pack, let's just open it. Holding on for even a second longer would be disrespectful to this gift pack. God bless me, I'm willing to trade Yaoguan's 10 years of singleness for my one shot at the soul. Yaoguan was Liu's friend in his previous life. Whenever Liu, the author, draws a card, he will shout this sentence, and the delivery rate is often above 80%, so friends are the teeth used for sacrifice. It's not gold again. Prop copy card. You can specify to copy an item with a maximum level not exceeding 3 stars of the level of extinction. Liu looked at the thing in his hand. This thing is not bad. Anyway, he has nothing to lack for the time being. If he keeps this thing, he can directly get a copy of something he likes in the future. I don't know if I can go to the world of fate in the future. At that time, I can directly copy the golden treasure house of the king. Liu thought happily. You said that you can only copy one item, but if there is something stored in it, it will also be counted as the ownership of this item. Zao at Liu. I opened this thing and don't know how to use it. It's not of much use to me. Rejuvenation pill, Liu? Question mark. 1 pill for 1 year? This looks like the pill of the poor Taoist priest and the demon Dao, the one that he covered his mouth with at the end. Liu, let me think about it. Liu looked at the rejuvenation pill and began to brainstorm. As a time traveler who has read so many novels, he didn't believe that he couldn't come up with something fancy. Liu, got it. Liu, you just take the pill and pay tribute to Qin Shi Huang and take 10 pills and leave 20 pills in front of him. After he takes the rejuvenation pill, you will definitely get a lot of points. Liu, don't think that Qin Shi Huang in the mythological world is a low-class group. That's because he is old. Liu, after all, the young Qin Shi Huang was a man who swept across the world and unified the world. Liu, didn't Yi Zhaochuan say that you are a traitor? Didn't he lick Liu Bang's ass when he was the emperor? Liu, then you will assist Qin Shi Huang in unifying the world. Let him live forever, and let the Qin dynasty last forever. Be the highest Zhao Gao, the Zhao Gao who is below one person, and above billions of people. Chapter 33 Zhao Gao Presents Treasures. Zhao Gao was dumbfounded when he saw what Liu said. Then he began to imagine whether this plan would work. Yes, didn't you, Yi Zhaochuan, say that I, Zhao Gao, was a traitor? You said that I was one of the disasters that led to the demise of the Qin dynasty. You are aloof. You said that you can't change history, but you still follow Prince Fusu. Well, since you said so, I will be a different Zhao Gao. I can still be below one person and above millions of people. Even in the later period, I got a lot of points and became an immortal. I want you, Yi Zhaochuan, to see if I, Zhao Gao, was a traitor. Liu was also imagining the success rate of this plan at this time. Once successful, it can directly create a new timeline. Wouldn't the impact be overwhelming? After thinking about it, Liu began to help Zhao Gao plan. Others who had nothing to do after opening the gift packs also started to play in the group. Zhang Chulan and Komari, the two funny guys, began to show off their gains. Zhang Chulan, although I'm not a LV5 superpower, but LV4 is very powerful when combined with my Yang Wu Lei. Zhang Chulan, now I dare to touch anyone except the old master. Although Zhang Chulan's words are a bit boastful, they are not empty talk. Let's not talk about the distant ones, just the 4 Zhang Kuangs, facing the attack of 3 times the speed of sound. Who can resist it? Zhang Chulan, but I can't use it now. Liu, nonsense. You think the super electromagnetic gun is just as simple as covering it with lightning. Karma, the super electromagnetic gun is also a railgun. The railgun has 2 long metal rails that are energized to generate a strong magnetic field. At the same time, part of the current in the rails passes through the metal projectile, thereby accelerating the projectile and finally having a very high initial velocity when it leaves the barrel. Karma, in the anime, although Misaka Makoto's super electromagnetic gun does not have metal rail, she can generate a very high voltage to break through the air to form plasma, replacing the role of the rail. The principle is the same as the railgun. Karma, if you want to use the complete railgun, you need to learn a lot of physics knowledge. Liu, Karma is right. If I remember correctly, she is a top student, the best in her age group. Karma, hey, top student, thank you. Karma, I will upload the theoretical knowledge about railgun to the chat group for you to practice. After all, you are a genius who can create your own Thunder Series skills. Zhang Chulan, hi, I can just look up the theoretical knowledge on the internet. After all, I'm a college student. Karma, okay, then I won't. No. Karma, I thought of it. The knowledge we download in the chat group is directly instilled into our brains. Karma, that means we can upload a lot of knowledge points and then download them so that we don't have to worry about memorizing the text. Liu, damn, you are worthy of it. This bug made you stuck. Kurosaki Ichigo, shocked me for 100 years. Liu, well, it's good news for students. Sabo, by the way, I opened the dragon slaying magic crystal of the Purgatory Dragon. It seems to be from Lucy's world. Liu, Purgatory Dragon, judging from the name, is it fire or dark? Sabo, it's fire. Hahaha, it seems that I have a good relationship with fire. Karma, Dragon Slayer magic, hehe, you'll be miserable in the future. Sabo, oh, hey, is there something unspeakable about this thing? Liu, that's not the case, but as your Dragon Slayer magic becomes more and more advanced, you will become seasick on all means of transportation. Liu, TSK, in a world full of seas, if you get seasick, just imagine that scene. Sabo, don't. Is it too late for me to regret it now? Karma, I don't think we need to be so pessimistic. Karma, as you use points to strengthen, I think the side effect can still be eliminated. Sabo, that's right. I just forgot. Looking at the people who were getting more and more excited, Liu didn't chat in the group. Instead, he opened the system mall of the chat group. The permanent products are senzu beans from the Dragon Ball world. The price is 3000 points per bean, which is not expensive to be honest. After all, it can heal all injuries and restore physical strength. 3000 points for one is really a good deal. And the group owner can enjoy a 30% discount. As for the other products refreshed this month, how can I say it? Liu is not very interested. He is still well developed now, so he does not need to add abilities or equipment for the time being. Then he began to sort out what Xiaogao needed. After helping Xiaogao prepare everything, Liu went to bed, waiting for the show to start. Early the next morning in the mythical world, Xiaogao prepared everything and was ready to do something. The Qin Dynasty Hall. At this time, Qin Shi Huang was attending court, listening to the ministers sitting down to report their work. At this time, a loud shout suddenly came from outside the hall. Your Majesty, I have met an immortal master and have a treasure to offer. Your Majesty, I have met an immortal master and have a treasure to offer. Your Majesty, I have met an immortal master and have a treasure to offer. Xiaogao shouting outside the hall directly attracted everyone's attention. You daring slave. How dare you disregard the law and make a loud noise outside the palace. Take him down and punish him severely. Prime Minister Li Si said immediately, obviously intending to flatter Qin Shi Huang. Wait, who is making a noise outside? Qin Shi Huang heard it carefully. He thought that, if the treasure was not precious enough, no one would dare to risk his life to offer it. Your Majesty, it is the eunuch you named Xiaogao the day before yesterday. The eunuch serving beside ran out to check and came back to report to Qin Shi Huang. Let him come in. I want to see what treasure he has to offer. If he talks nonsense, I will take his head. Yes, after the serving eunuch bowed his hands in response, he shouted, call Xiaogao into the palace. A moment later, Xiaogao slowly came to the front of the hall and knelt down in front of Qin Shi Huang. Your servant pays homage to his majesty, don't say those useless words. What precious treasures do you have to offer? If you are talking nonsense, I will chop you off today. Your Majesty, yesterday I met an immortal master by chance. The immortal master gave me 3 precious treasures to present to your Majesty. The first one is the elixir of rejuvenation. What? Nonsense. This kid should be killed. Yi Zhao-chan, who was standing in the crowd, was also confused at this time. If it's not Xiaogao, what are you kidding? How could that thing exist? Are you here to make fun of Qin Shi Huang? Li Si, your Majesty, this boy's a ruthless person. He must be trying to poison your Majesty. Your Majesty. Xiaogao immediately interrupted Li Si and shouted, the immortal master gave me 30 rejuvenation pills, each of which can make a person 1 year younger. And he told me to test 10 of them on the spot. If I can't be 10 years younger, I'm willing to be cut into pieces. Hiss. Everyone gasped in shock when they heard what Xiaogao said. This Xiaogao's promise was too solemn. 10 years younger on the spot, otherwise I will be cut into pieces? So confident. Could this pill be real? Question mark. Chapter 34 Rejuvenation. Now everyone felt a little convinced by Xiaogao's words. After all, Xiaogao dared to say such words that would lead to his death by 1,000 cuts. After all, no one would want to joke about his own life, right? Zyogeo glanced at the ministers around him. He took in their expressions. People of this era are superstitious about gods. Even Qin Shi Huang, the greatest emperor of all time, was obsessed with the idea of immortality in his later years. In particular, there were many emperors in history who were obsessed with immortality. Then, Zyogeo took out a wooden box, in which were quietly placed 30 small black pills, which were twice the size of soybeans. He took the wooden box, and began to shake it slowly, to shuffle all the pills inside. Your Majesty, all the pills have been shuffled. In order to prove the effect of this rejuvenation pill, I implore your Majesty to randomly select 10 pills for me to test. Everyone understood Zyugeo's intention. Qin Shi Huang was wavering as he watched Zyugeo's operation. If the pill was real, then he would have given up 10 years of his life in vain. If it was a fake thief who took advantage of his psychology, then wouldn't it be? Never mind, even if he was 20 years younger, it would be a gain, especially for the immortal master that Zyugeo mentioned. If there really was an immortal master, then there would definitely be this rejuvenation pill in the future. So Qin Shi Huang picked up 10 pills and took them out. At this moment, Li Si stepped forward. Your Majesty, I'm willing to test the medicine on myself. If this guy wanted to poison your Majesty, if he took the antidote in advance, we would not be able to tell. So I'm willing to test the medicine on your Majesty. Li Si took the risk. He wanted to take a gamble. What if it was real? He would be 10 years younger. Seeing that Zyugeo was not afraid at all, he wanted to try it. After all, the temptation of longevity was too great. Prime Minister. You are the left Prime Minister of my great kin. If there is any mistake, it will be the loss of my great kin. It is better to let me do it. Li Si was not the only one who had the same idea. Others thought similarly. Such people are called gamblers in modern times. But Zyugeo would not indulge them. Okay. All the ministers. Put away your little thoughts. You, what do you mean by eunuch? How dare a small eunuch mock me? And other ministers? Zyugeo sneered. Who can't understand your thoughts? But I'm speaking plainly today. I'm here to represent the Immortal Master. The Immortal Master asked me to test the medicine. One is to prove the authenticity of the elixir to your Majesty. Second, it is for my reward. Do you deserve this elixir of rejuvenation? Zyugeo's attitude was extremely arrogant. This was also what Liu told him. The more arrogant he was, the more he proved that he had a bottom line in his heart. With the support of the so-called Immortal Master, no one could hurt him before the final conclusion. Qin Shi Huang watched the fast below and believed Zyugeo's words even more. Just like modern sales, the more expensive he sells, the more people flock to buy it. Just like some brand stores, the more high ranking, the more people rush to give money to others. To put it bluntly, this kind of human nature is cheap. So Zyugeo is now taking advantage of this mentality. Now the bait has been spread. Before the final conclusion, Zyugeo will not be guilty. Behind him stands the Immortal Master. If the rejuvenation is fake, then he will not be able to escape from being cut into pieces. If it is true, then Zyugeo is a first-class protected animal, and the left Prime Minister and generals will have to stand aside. What's wrong with being arrogant? He still eats beef. While Li Xiaochuan looked at him like a madman, Zyugeo, with the cannibalistic eyes of all the ministers, grabbed the pill sent back by the eunuch. Then, put it in his mouth. The next second, Zyugeo covered his throat and made a humming sound. It's really poisonous. The faces of all the ministers, including Qin Shi Huang, changed immediately. Water. Water. It's stuck in your throat. Zyugeo's words immediately changed people's faces. Grass, a kind of plant. With this reaction, I thought you were poisoned. The serving eunuch hurriedly brought a glass of water. Zyugeo took it and drank it in a few gulps. A long sigh of relief. Zao. Qin Shi Huang was about to ask when the elixir would take effect. In just a few seconds, Zyugeo's face became younger. He was already in his 30s, and in the blink of an eye, his skin became delicate. His hair also became black and shiny. In an instant, he was 10 years younger and turned into a young man in his early 20s. Zyugeo even felt that the parts that had been cut off had grown back. It was indeed the elixir of rejuvenation, which directly turned his body condition into what it was 10 years ago. Ha 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 ha. That's great. It's really great. Zao laughed wildly in the hall. At this time, no one accused him of being arrogant. Everyone only cared about one thing, that is, the elixir was real. Qin Shi Huang immediately stood up excitedly. Zao, quick, tell me how you feel now, Your Majesty. My body has indeed returned to 10 years ago, and even the treasure that was cut off has grown back. Zao words shocked the people around him. Even the cut part has grown back. This is a magic pill. Okay. Zao, I will give you a great deed. Quickly bring me the rejuvenation pill. Zao's success made Qin Shi Huang completely crazy. He had completely lost his mind. The eunuch next to him immediately brought the box of pills to Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang's hands were shaking with excitement. He took a few breaths to calm down his emotions. He was afraid that, if his hand shook and a pill fell, it would be a huge loss. Just when Qin Shi Huang grabbed a handful of pills and wanted to put them in his mouth, the little eunuch next to him shouted, "Wait, Your Majesty." Huh? Qin Shi Huang stared at the little eunuch with murderous eyes. How dare this eunuch prevent me from rejuvenation? The young eunuch quickly said the rest of the words. Why don't you go and prepare water for Your Majesty first? Everyone suddenly realized that Zao had just taken 10 pills and all of them got stuck in his throat. Qin Shi Huang would not die if he took 20 pills. Qin Shi Huang also realized that he had forgotten this in his excitement, and then he looked at the eunuch next to him with a look that did not want to kill him. You are very good. Qin Shi Huang praised him casually. Everyone saw that he was worthy of being a eunuch, and he knew how to deal with things. The eunuch who had just given Zao water immediately went to bring a bowl of water to Qin Shi Huang. After everything was ready, Qin Shi Huang swallowed the pills in one gulp, and then swallowed them with water. After waiting for a few seconds, Qin Shi Huang became younger at a speed visible to the naked eye. Unlike Zao, Qin Shi Huang was 20 years younger. 20 years younger, the difference from the previous state is visible to the naked eye. Qin Shi Huang directly returned to the peak of middle age. The great emperor of the ages with great talent and strategy is back. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 Immortal Seed. Younger. The old Qin Shi Huang is gone forever. At this time, Qin Shi Huang is strong and handsome, and he no longer looks greasy. At this time, he is the real Qin Shi Huang who unified the world, not the greasy man who was criticized in the myth. The reason why Qin Shi Huang in the myth is called low is entirely because of his age. One is that his body functions are no longer good when he is old, and his brain is getting worse and worse with age. Qin Shi Huang was different when he was young, and all the data were at their peak. Looking at the young Qin Shi Huang, everyone bowed their bodies to congratulate Qin Shi Huang. Zao, you have done a good job. I will reward you heavily. The rejuvenated Qin Shi Huang sat down. He waved his hand and made a promise. Then he asked, Zao, where is the immortal master you mentioned? I want to see him. Everyone's eyes lit up after hearing what Qin Shi Huang said. If this immortal master could work for Qin Shi Huang, wouldn't they all have a chance to become younger or even live forever? Your Majesty, don't worry. Zao had completely grasped Qin Shi Huang at this time, and he shook his head gently and said, this treasure has not been presented yet. The immortal master gave me 3 treasures to present to Your Majesty. This is the first one and there are 2 more to come. Zao was no longer afraid of Qin Shi Huang's rebellion. At this time, he also changed his humble attitude before going to the palace. Even the self-proclaimed name became I. After listening to Zao's words, Qin Shi Huang and his men began to look forward to what Zao's other 2 treasures were. Then Zao ordered someone to present a scroll. When it was unfolded, it was a super large map. Yi Zhaochuan's eyes widened when he saw it. He recognized this thing. This is a world map. It looks like a world map made with modern technology. This is outrageous. Where did he get this thing? Your Majesty, this is a world map. Zaogeo asked someone to unfold the world map. Your Majesty, look, this is the territory of our great kin, which roughly occupies this area. Zaogeo pointed to the location of Great Kin on the map and said, this is a world map of the Kin dynasty printed by Zhangchulan in their world. The background of under one person is exactly the same as modern society, so the map is also consistent. This. Qin Shi Huang stared at the map with wide eyes. The distribution of mountains, rivers, and rivers on it was so detailed. This world map is so big. My great kin has such a small territory? Yes, Your Majesty, look here. This is the Roman Republic. Zaogeo pointed to a place on the map and introduced it to Qin Shi Huang. This is Carthage. Carthage is located in Africa and was founded by the Phoenicians. This is the Kingdom of Macedonia. This is Seleucus, Parthia. Zaogeo introduced the other countries on the map to Qin Shi Huang one by one. From Ptolemy in Egypt to Bactria in Afghanistan, and then Persia. After introducing them one by one, the listeners were stunned. They never knew that the world was so big besides Great Kin. After Zaogeo finished his introduction, everyone was enlightened. But then there was a moment of confusion. What was Zaogeo's purpose? Qin Shi Huang and several generals guessed a little, but they were not sure. Your Majesty, the Immortal Master once said that Your Majesty would destroy the 6 kingdoms, unify the world, sweep across the world, and make the writing system the same, the wheels the same, and the customs the same. But this is only the territory of the Qin dynasty. The world is still very big. If Your Majesty is given another 20 years, can Your Majesty let the flag of the Qin dynasty be planted all over the world? Your Majesty is an emperor of all ages. He believes that, if Your Majesty is in his prime and his ambition remains the same, then the territory of the Qin dynasty will expand 100 times and 1,000 times, and it will definitely create an unparalleled empire. Zaogeo's words were full of passion, and Qin Shi Huang's blood boiled when he heard them. That's right. If he hadn't been old, he would definitely not give up his ambitions. Especially now that foreign races are still jumping outside the Great Wall, and now he has another 20 years. No, it may even be more. So create an unparalleled empire. How desirable. That's right. Oh, 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 oh. At this time, Qin Shi Huang's eyes were filled with raging fire, which was the fire of ambition. I want to build an unparalleled kin. At this time, all the generals in the hall immediately stepped forward. We are willing to expand the territory for Your Majesty. We will not regret dying on the battlefield. We are willing to die for Your Majesty. No one is afraid of the generals who fight. The meaning of their existence is to defend the country, expand the territory, and kill the enemy on the battlefield. Of course, there are opponents who agree. The opponents are those great Confucian scholars. No, Your Majesty. Years of war have made the people live in poverty. Now the disaster of foreign races alone has not been completely solved, and the people are even more hungry. Don't start a war, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. A group of civil servants hurriedly began to talk about how tight the treasury was, how difficult it was for the people, how much food they lacked, and how they couldn't support so many troops. Some even said that killing too much would cause the wrath of heaven. In fact, Qin Shi Huang also understood that now was not the best time to fight a war. Especially for the food problem. You know that the most important thing for raising an army and fighting a war is food and grass. There is a saying that food and grass must be prepared before the troops move. With the current strength of the Qin dynasty, it is not easy to continue to expand the territory. Your Majesty, expanding the territory is not an easy thing. But the road can be taken step by step, and the problems can be solved one by one. Next, I want to talk about the third treasure given by the Immortal Master. Immortal seeds. The Immortal Master gave 10 kinds of immortal seeds. Among them, there are 4 kinds of staple food and 6 kinds of vegetables. This is the immortal seed. The staple food is harvested 4 times a year, and the yield per mu can be at least 9,000 catties, and the highest yield can reach 26,000 catties. Vegetables are harvested once every 15 days in summer and once every 20 days in winter. They are simple to plant, and do not require a high growth environment. Once the immortal seeds are sown, my great kin will never lack food again. Are you serious? Shocked, it was so shocking. The ministers around were so shocked by Zaogao's words that they opened their mouths wide and could not make a sound. The yield of the 4 staple grains is at least 9,000 kilograms per mu, and the highest is 26,000 kilograms. If Zaogao hadn't just come up with a pot of rejuvenation pills, he would have been beaten to death the next second for spreading rumors and misleading the public. Yi Zhaochuan was completely shocked. Where did you get these things? Even in the modern times they traveled through, there are no such things. The highest yield of potatoes per mu in modern times is only about 8,000 kilograms. You got a staple grain with a yield of 26,000 kilograms per mu? Am I still asleep? Chapter 36 Scolding Yi Zhaochuan. Crazy, completely crazy. Of course, Qin Shi Huang was still in a relatively calm state at this time. Zaogao, can I see the immortal master? I admit that these things are supreme immortal treasures, but if you want to conquer the world with these things alone, it may not be a matter of a day or a night. This is of course. How can it be so easy to conquer the world? Everyone is a smart person. There is no fool who can become a minister of a country. The reason why the civil officials desperately blocked and complained was that they really didn't want to fight. This is the team that Qin Shi Huang unified the 6 countries. They all fought with Qin Shi Huang. To put it bluntly, the crying child gets milk. The military generals passionately said that they died in the horse's hide and served the Qin emperor. The civil officials said that it was not easy for the people with little food and money. These are not wrong. It has only been a few years since the unification of the Qin dynasty. It is not easy to guard this acre of land. What about the garrison after the expansion? The remnants of the 6 countries are also eyeing them secretly. These are all problems. So it is not enough to have grain seeds alone. Everyone knows this. And these 3 things were just baits thrown by Liu. Your Majesty, if you are interested, I can bring the immortal master to the palace to meet your Majesty tomorrow. Okay, I agree. Qin Shi Huang nodded immediately after hearing Zaogao's words. Later, because Zaogao's body had recovered and he had made great contributions in presenting treasures, Qin Shi Huang directly granted Zaogao a mansion outside the palace. Although he did not grant an official position, everyone knew that this person in front of them should not be offended now. In the evening, as expected, Yi Zhaochuan came to Zaogao's new mansion. Gao, what's the matter with you today? Seeing Zaogao, Yi Zhaochuan asked very excitedly. What's going on? Didn't I make it very clear? I met an immortal master who gave me a treasure to present to your Majesty. You should have seen it clearly in the hall. How could you be blind at such a young age? Don't talk to me about those useless things. Yi Zhaochuan was very excited, except for the rejuvenation elixir. Those things like the world map and the immortal seeds are all modern products. Especially the world map. How could I not recognize it on such a large printing paper? What is your purpose in doing this? Looking at Yi Zhaochuan, Zaogao's face instantly became serious. You must remember. Zaogao pointed at the tip of Yi Zhaochuan's nose. I'm Zaogao, not Gao Yao. That Gao Yao has been killed by you. It was your sworn brother Liu Bang who made me become like this. You didn't suffer any loss because you met Yushu. What about me? Zaogao pushed Yi Zhaochuan. I was bullied here. Did you ever care about me? You must remember Yi Zhaochuan. Everything today is because of you. Okay. Yi Zhaochuan took a deep breath. Let's not talk about who is right or wrong for now, but you are changing history by doing this. Do you know that? Okay Yi Zhaochuan, you said I changed history. Then let me ask you. I acted like Zaogao and followed history, but you called me a traitor. I'm not a traitor, but you said I changed history. Then what do you want me to do? I'll tell you, Yi Zhaochuan. Since we traveled to this era, the so-called modern times have been our past, and the so-called history is our future. We are here, and this is our present. Don't tell me your big principles. You are just selfish. You knew that Yushu had to marry, but you still pursued her. Have you ever thought that Yushu came to the Qin dynasty just to let her hometown live a peaceful life? Before you were with her, did you ever think about how much disaster it would bring to her after being exposed? How do you know? Yi Zhaochuan asked in a trembling voice. How should I know? Yi Zhaochuan, if you don't want others to know, you must not do it yourself. Have you ever thought about Susu? You fell in love with someone else just after Susu died. Don't forget who Susu died for. You always blame others and never think about what you do. Zaogeo pointed at Jizaochuan's nose and scolded him. Didn't you ask me what I want to do? I tell you, Jizaochuan, I want to assist the Qin dynasty to unify the world, and I want to make the Chinese people the #1 nation in the world. You said I was a traitor, and you said you were afraid that I would become that Zaogeo. Then I tell you, you don't have to be afraid, because I will become a Zaogeo who stands higher. Plop. Jizaochuan was shocked by Zaogeo's momentum and fell directly to the ground. Jizaochuan looked at Zaogeo in front of him. His eyes were 3 parts horror, 3 parts fear, and the rest was full of confusion. He didn't know how Gaoyeo could become like this. He was just a simple cook before. Zaogeo couldn't understand the fan-shaped statistical chart in Jizaochuan's eyes. He just waved at Jizaochuan. Go, you can't stop me. I will let you see if I'm a treacherous minister who is causing trouble beyond the outline. Jizaochuan walked out in despair. Zaogeo immediately opened the chat group after sending Jizaochuan away. Zaogeo, Liu, I have already done it here. Qin Shi Huang will see you tomorrow. Liu, I know, I received 50,000 points today. Zhang Chulan, what did you do? I also received 20,000 points today. Seeing that Zhang Chulan also got points, Liu smiled and didn't feel surprised. After all, the world map was provided by Zhang Chulan, and he was also involved in the plan. Especially the appearance of the world map played a key role in inducing Qin Shi Huang to unify the world. This is just the initial impact. With the butterfly effect caused, more points will be obtained later. Not to mention the improved varieties, which were provided by Liu. This is the improved variety of their world. And this is not the highest yield. The highest yield of grain can reach 100,000 catties per mu. You must know that Liu's world has a population of more than 700 billion. If the grain yield is not high, it cannot feed so many people. However, the grain yield of 100,000 catties per mu has strict requirements on the environment, so Liu did not take the seeds, but took some varieties that have basically no requirements for the environment. Basically, they can be planted as long as there is soil. So both of them got points, especially since this is just the beginning. The seeds have not been planted, and the impact has not been opened. Then Zaogeo told what happened in the court today. Kamero, it's amazing. You are going to do something big. Yakumo Yukari, directly change the historical direction of the entire planet. You are going to make a lot of money. Kurosaki Ichigo, Zaogeo has the hope of becoming an immortal. Liu, I will travel directly to your place and then go to court with you tomorrow. Zaogeo, good. There are a few people in the water group today, and Liu is not interested in chatting anymore, but is ready to travel to the world of mythology in a while. What no one knows is that an uninvited guest is about to arrive in the world of Umaru-sama, harem. Chapter 37 Zaogeo vs. Jizaochuan. Do you want to travel to the world of group member Zaogeo? After traveling, the time flow rate is 1:150. After traveling, the group owner can return at any time. Yes /no, it is the same as last time, but this time the time ratio is 1:150. It was late at night in Zaogeo's house. After the two discussed the plan for tomorrow, Liu went to bed, waiting to meet Qin Shi Huang together tomorrow. Early in the morning, civil and military officials had been waiting in the court for a long time. After all, today is the day when the Immortal Master appears, and everyone wants to meet this so-called Immortal Master, including Jizaochuan. He is a staunch atheist, although such an outrageous thing as traveling through time has occurred. But when he saw the person who appeared with Zaogeo, he was immediately dumbfounded. He was 18 or 19 years old, and although he looked handsome, he looked like a modern person. Not only Jizaochuan, everyone was dumbfounded after seeing Liu's appearance. In their impression, shouldn't immortals have the appearance of immortals with white hair and childlike faces? How could he be a teenager? Is this the Immortal Master? So young. Qin Shi Huang looked at Liu and spoke first. Qin Huang, don't be so surprised. You have eaten the anti-aging pill. So you should understand that age is completely meaningless to us. This is indeed the case. Qin Shi Huang thought for a while and said, since we are here today, I won't beat around the bush with Qin Huang. Does Qin Huang want to live forever? Li Yu said directly. Yes, of course I do. I wonder if the immortal master has a way to live forever. Longevity is naturally available, but forgive me for being blunt, with Qin Huang's current status, he is not worthy of the way to live forever. The one who can enjoy longevity must naturally be the master of the world, the supreme emperor of the dynasty. Li Yu's words instantly ignited Qin Shi Huang's heart. It is really possible to live forever. But, thinking of the territory, that is countless times larger than that of the Qin dynasty, Qin Shi Huang was a little unconfident. If the emperor of Qin wants to rule the world, I can come up with a plan for him. Master, please feel free to talk. First of all, there is the problem of food. The immortal seeds I brought will be popularized throughout the Qin dynasty with Xianyang as a center. With the output of immortal seeds, the Qin dynasty will not be short of food in a year. Li Yu's rice seeds can yield 26,000 kilograms per acre. He will plant 1,000 acres first and harvest 4 times a year. The seeds can be used as seeds in the early stage. In just 1 year, the Qin dynasty will no longer be short of food. The Qin dynasty has just unified the 6 kingdoms, and there are many war orphans in the territory. The emperor of Qin can adopt these young people to train the army. Then the emperor of Qin can first select 30,000 soldiers. I can pass down the immortal method. If these 30,000 soldiers succeed in their cultivation, then the emperor of Qin can have an invincible army. Then the emperor of Qin can reclaim all the land and encourage the people to have children. As long as they have children, they will distribute the land. At this time, the emperor of Qin has an invincible army and can suppress all those who disobey. In this way, the advantage will snowball. Within 5 years, the emperor of Qin will have strong soldiers and horses. At the same time, I will also take out some books to train talents for the emperor of Qin. In this way, the disaster of foreign races can be solved within 5 years, and then the sword can be drawn to the world. The people in the hall listened to Li Yu's plan, as if they were listening to heavenly books. Although this is a truth, if you want to implement it specifically, the details still need to be discussed. Of course, Qin Shi Huang is most interested in the immortal method mentioned by Li Yu. Then let Xiao Gao show the immortality I taught to the Emperor Qin. Oh, how should I show this? Xiao Gao. Li Yu called Xiao Gao. Xiao Gao basically didn't speak since he entered the hall. The whole hall was filled with Qin Shi Huang and Li Yu communicating, and no one else dared to speak. But although they didn't speak, everyone still had doubts in their hearts. After all, Li Yu had only spoken and hadn't produced anything substantial so far. But showing the immortality was different. After Li Yu called Xiao Gao clasped his fists and responded, yes, master. This master was called for everyone to hear, just so that Xiao Gao could use his tiger skin after Li Yu left. The mysterious sect of heaven and earth, the root of all ki. Practice 10,000 calamities to prove my supernatural powers. Inside and outside the 3 realms, only Taoism is supreme. There is a golden light on my body, covering my body. It cannot be seen, and it cannot be heard. As Xiao Gao chanted the spell, a layer of dazzling golden light covered his body. Yesterday, Xiao Gao restored Qin Shi Huang's youth and immediately received 100,000 points. Last night, he learned the golden light mantra with 1 click and strengthened it. Fuck, Gao Yao is using special effects. Yi Xiaochuan couldn't help but complain when he saw Xiao Gao, who was covered in golden light. The magic trick I taught is called the golden light mantra. After using it, it cannot be hurt by swords and knives, and cannot be invaded by water and fire. It is also extremely powerful. Taoism had not yet appeared at this time, so Li Yu, who was shameless, directly claimed the golden light mantra as his own. I heard that General Meng Yi is very skilled in martial arts, so why not let him try this magic trick? Yi Xiaochuan on the side was suddenly stunned. He was just eating melons, but why did he get dragged to himself? That's a good idea, General Meng Yi. Please try this golden light mantra for me. Qin Shi Huang gave the order without hesitation. After hearing what Qin Shi Huang said, Yi Xiaochuan naturally could not refuse. Qin Shi Huang ordered someone to present a sword to Yi Zai-Ochan. Since it was said that swords cannot hurt, it naturally had to be confirmed. After Yi Zai-Ochan got the sword, although he was reluctant, he had to do it, because he was forced to do it. Of course, he also had a tentative attitude. He raised his hand and stabbed Zhao Gao's shoulder at a tricky angle. Ding. Zhao Gao raised his hand lightly to block Yi Zai-Ochan's sword. His expression was relaxed, and he didn't look like he was struggling at all. It's amazing. With General Meng Yi's skills, he can't even pierce this layer of golden light. Yi Zai-Ochan's ability is obvious to everyone, but he was easily blocked by someone with his fingers while holding a sharp sword. It's worthy of being a fairy technique. Meng Yi, you don't have to hold back. You can't break the defense of my golden light spell, Zhao Gao said lightly. After hearing what Zhao Gao said, Yi Zai-Ochan no longer hid his intentions. He immediately attacked Zhao Gao. It must be said that Yi Zai-Ochan's martial arts are still very powerful. After all, he was taught by the old Zhang family. He was seen moving around Zhao Gao. The sword in his hand flew up and down, dazzling the onlookers. Unfortunately, all his attacks hit the golden light, but the result was ineffective, and there were also sounds of metal collision. But no matter how fierce, Zhao Gao was calm and composed in the golden light and dealt with it easily. His expression did not change throughout the whole scene. The excellent authors under the author and editor, please give me a face. Chapter 38, Deterrence. Yi Zai-Ochan became more and more frightened as the fight went on. Zhao Gao looked like he was teasing him the whole time. Hey, you can try harder, I can handle it. Zhao Gao's words reminded Yi Zai-Ochan of a fire cloud evil god wearing big shorts and flip-flops. Zhao Gao now looked exactly like a certain evil god, calm and composed. Yi Zai-Ochan was really afraid that he would say something like there is no martial arts in the world that can be broken except for speed. For half a day, Yi Zai-Ochan couldn't break Zhao Gao's defense, no matter how he attacked. In the end, Zhao Gao put his two fingers together and directly cut on Yi Zai-Ochan's sword blade. The bronze sword in Yi Zai-Ochan's hand was directly cut off by one finger. Then Zhao Gao gently slapped Yi Zai-Ochan on the chest. Yi Zai-Ochan was slapped 4 or 5 meters away by Zhao Gao in full view of everyone. Cough cough cough. Yi Zai-Ochan coughed on the ground, covering his chest. He felt as if his chest was hit by a car. Several generals around hurried forward to help Yi Zai-Ochan up. Seeing this, Li Yu's mouth curled up into a smile. He did it on purpose, otherwise he would not choose Yi Zai-Ochan from so many generals in the hall. I used to hate Yi Zai-Ochan when I watched the TV series, and I wanted to beat him up. Now I finally saw him being beaten with my own eyes. It feels so good. To be honest, if it weren't for the fact that Yi Zai-Ochan was played by Leo Hu, this character would have been scolded when it was broadcast. It would have been scolded in the next few years. Looking at Yi Zai-Ochan, who was in a good mood, Zhao Gao didn't care. Instead, he turned his head and said to Qin Shi Huang and the ministers in the hall, I haven't used my strength yet. If I increase my strength, I'm afraid that General Meng Yi's internal organs will be shaken into meat paste. Your Majesty, look at the power of my golden light spell. Zhao Gao dispersed the golden light spell and said to Qin Shi Huang with a smile. Good. Qin Shi Huang laughed heartily. He knew Yi Zai-Ochan's strength, and he was among the best among all the generals. He didn't expect that he would be played around by Zhao Gao, especially under the golden light. Yi Zai-Ochan was holding the sword Kyukyuken, but he was not hurt at all. Not to mention the long term, if he learns this trick, he will not be afraid of assassinations in the future. Come and chop at my head, you are awesome, if you can chop it. Qin Shi Huang has begun to have wild thoughts. Zhao Gao is my disciple, and I will let Zhao Gao teach Qin Huang the golden light mantra next. Li Yu's words made Qin Shi Huang's eyes light up. Then Li Yu turned his head and looked at the civil officials and generals in the hall. Everyone, I will only say once that, if you concentrate on assisting Qin Huang, I can teach you the immortal way one day. Then, Li Yu said to Qin Shi Huang, I wonder if Qin Huang is willing to move outside the hall. I will take you to see a good show. Oh, Immortal Master, it's okay. Qin Shi Huang didn't know what Li Yu was up to. but he knew that he must not offend the man in front of him. After all, the dream of immortality was in his hands. He came to the outside of the palace. Qin Shi Huang and his ministers stood at the entrance of the palace. Li Yu came to the open space outside the palace. Today, I will show the power of the immortal to the Emperor Qin, so that the Emperor Qin can rest assured. Li Yu smiled and saw a red energy giant began to emerge outside his body. First, the bones, then the flesh and blood, and then the armor. Then the giant kept rising. It reached a height of more than 200 meters. Yi Zai-Ochuan was dumbfounded. He recognized this thing. He really thought he had never seen Naruto. Liu Susanoo was not used to the stage of complete form. That would cause too much damage to the eyes at one time. Now it just happened that, although there was damage, with the support of the immortal body, it would not be used up, and blood and tears would be shed. Otherwise, it would be too low. This is a miracle. It is really irresistible. Irresistible. All the soldiers in Xianyang Palace were shocked. The giant of more than 200 meters, even the people outside could see it. Others were trembling under the pressure of the giant. Whoosh! The giant raised his hand, and a golden spear appeared in his hand. The red energy on the golden spear surged, and blue lightning continued to flash. Susanoo, golden light curse, and the power of palm thunder mixed together. Liu manipulated Susanoo to float in the air, and then aimed in one direction. There was a mountain there. Boom. Throw it directly, and the spear burst out with a sound of wind and thunder, breaking through the air. Bang. The mountain in the distance was directly blown flat. This. Shocking. Incomparable shock. Compared with the golden light curse used by Xiao, this is a real stone-breaking shock. Liu Susanoo slowly dissipated and fell to the ground. Master, are you willing to become my Qin dynasty's national teacher? I will share the country with you in this great Qin. Qin Shi Huang was completely obsessed. He thought that, even if he shared the country with Liu, he would keep him in the great Qin. I'm not interested in your kingdom. I still need to practice cultivation, so I will not stay in the secular world for a long time. But don't worry, Xiao is my disciple. He can represent me with full authority, and can tell me anything. Qin Shi Huang saw that Liu was not interested at all, so he had to lower his requirements. Xiao did not refuse, and was directly appointed as the national teacher by Qin Shi Huang. Liu came here today, mainly to set up the stall, and the specific details of the implementation still had to be done by these ministers. First of all, he had to show an invincible image of an immortal. In this way, these people would not dare to have a different heart towards him. Then slowly develop the Qin state, let science and education, infrastructure, planting, population, and practice flourish everywhere. In this way, he will continuously gain points as the world line goes wild. As soon as Liu left, an order was first transmitted from Xianyang. The Qin Emperor was favored by the immortal, and gave the immortal seeds. The immortal seeds can produce 26,000 kilograms per mu, 4 crops a year. First sow 10,000 mu, and then popularize it throughout the country. At most, the Qin state will not lack food for 1 year. And the giant today was the power of the immortals, in order to deter those villains hiding in the dark. Qin Shi Huang was the emperor blessed by the immortals. To go against Qin Shi Huang was to go against the immortals. These news spread across the country like a spring breeze. Some people didn't believe it, while others expected it. Especially the common people, they always care about their livelihood. Now it is summer, and the seeds will mature in 2 months. Everyone is waiting to see whether Qin Shi Huang deceived the world, or really got the blessing of the immortals. All this is a story for later. Tonight, Xiao's national teacher's mansion. Yi Zai-Ochuan was invited by Xiao to come to the mansion again. He didn't know why Xiao wanted to find him today. But he felt that it must be bad. But even if Xiao didn't invite him, he had to come by himself, because the so-called immortal teacher today. He also had a guess. Chapter 39. Book recommendation and time travel. I'm climbing the technological world. I would like to recommend a book to you all. It is from the same column as the author Washu, which is simultaneous time travel. I'm climbing technology in the universe. The author is a little boy and a girl, Bushi. Everyone go and follow him. Chapter 40. Stripping off Yi Zai-Ochuan's hypocrisy. Yi Zai-Ocho entered the Imperial Master's mansion. Liu and Zao were drinking tea in the garden. Zao, what do you want to do? Yi Zai-Ocho was afraid of Liu, but seeing Zao's past friendship gave him some confidence. So after seeing the two of them, he gritted his teeth and asked with courage, I have said this before, we want to build an invincible kin. Don't ask such an obvious question. Don't you understand what we have brought out? Who is he? Yi Zai-Ocho stared at Liu and asked, Master, he is a god from the fairyland. You are still asking about something that the whole court knows. Yi Zai-Ocho, your brain is really not working well. Zao sneered at Yi Zai-Ocho. Don't try to fool me with that. Yi Zai-Ocho said loudly, he is obviously a modern man. And the so-called fairy technique, do you think I don't watch Naruto? That's the main Juki Sharingan. I recognize it. If you recognize it, then why are you shouting so loudly? Liu scratched his ear with his little finger and glanced at Yi Zai-Ocho. Sure enough, you are also a time traveler like us. Just like in online novels, right? Yi Zai-Ocho said excitedly, you can come up with so many modern things. Can you travel back? Can you go back to modern times? Don't be excited. Don't be excited. I didn't expect you still like to read online novels. Liu waved his hand to signal Yi Zai-Ocho to calm down. Then he continued, I'm different from you. It's not an exaggeration to say that you are the worst time traveler. What's wrong with me? Yi Zai-Ocho immediately didn't like what Liu said. They all traveled through the Qin dynasty. Look at Xiang Xiaolong, and then look at you. You are timid in doing things. You dare not do this or that. You are just a coward. I'm afraid of changing history, and a step into the Qin dynasty is a novel. Are you sure it is a novel? I still have the Sharingan. Liu pointed at Yi Zai-Ocho and scolded, I think you are a coward. Yi Zai-Ocho lost his temper after being scolded by Liu. He is just a bully who is afraid of the strong. Can you go back to modern times? Please take us back. Gao, we are not people of this era. Liu looked at the flustered Yi Zai-Ocho and smiled. If I can go back to modern times, will you go back with me? Go back. I will go back. I don't want to stay here for a moment. Hearing the possibility of going back to modern times, Yi Zai-Ocho immediately asked Liu, what about your Yushu? Liu's words seemed to be poured with a basin of cold water. Yushu. Yi Zai-Ocho muttered Yushu's name in his lost mouth. He struggled for a long time. Although Yushu and I love each other, we are not from the same era after all. She will have a better life here, so you want to abandon her and go back to modern times? Liu looked at Yi Zai-Ocho sarcastically. No, I'm not abandoning her, but I don't belong to this era at all. What do you mean by not belonging to this era? What do you mean by she will have a better life? You, Yi Zai-Ocho, just can't give up the life of luxury in modern society. You are a playboy in modern times. You are dating Gao Lan, but still thinking about other women. If you think she will have a better life as an imperial concubine, why did you tease her in the first place? You knew that she had a responsibility and you couldn't give her a future, so why didn't you give up in the first place? I think you are just a scumbag who doesn't want to take responsibility. Liu's words were like a knife cutting through Yi Zai-Ocho's fig leaf. He was scolded by Zao before, and was scolded by Liu again today. His self-deceiving thoughts have been torn apart by the two of them. And I tell you, we are from a parallel world. I can't bring you back to the present. How is this possible? You are lying to me, right? How does it feel to have the hope that just rose up shattered in the blink of an eye? Others may not know, but Yi Zai-Ocho absolutely understands. I don't have the leisure to lie to you. I can travel through parallel worlds, but I don't have the ability to travel through time. You know, the power of time is more precious than the power of space. Then what is your purpose in coming to this world, and why do you want to interfere with history? Yi Zai-Ocho, you are really a pig brain with a short memory. Zao should have told you that this is not called changing history. There is a saying that you are right about history cannot be changed, but what is history? Liu raised his hand and drew a golden halo. There was a small dot on the halo that kept moving forward. This point is like you. You came to the Qin dynasty from the modern time point. Then this modern time point is your past, and this timeline that keeps moving forward is the future. In other words, you are not in the historical timeline, but in the timeline heading towards the future. Time cannot go back. What you call the future is actually the past you have experienced. Do you understand? Your time travel actually belongs to your past. Your past is history and cannot be changed. What you are experiencing now is the future. Lee used the time theory of Avengers 4 to fool Yi Zai-ochan. The timeline is something that each person has his own reasons for. The settings of each world are different. The Flash next door travels through time from time to create a flashpoint. The timeline is easier to get on than a bus. But here, Liu has absolutely no problem fooling Yi Zai-ochan with this set. After all, the other party knows nothing about this. Anyway, Liu is powerful and must know more than him. Of course, the main purpose of today is not to fool Yi Zai-ochan, a silly boy. Just when Yi Zai-ochan was fooled, a voice suddenly sounded. I'm back. Swish. A figure flashed by. Another Liu appeared in the courtyard carrying a person. What is this? The shadow clone technique. Haven't you seen Naruto, and you don't know this? I'm not talking about this. I'm saying. Yi Zai-ochan was halfway through his words when he saw clearly the person that Liu's clone had captured. It turned out to be his sworn brother Liu Bang. Brother? Oh, you still call him brother? Zhao Gao sneered disdainfully. He sold both of us out, and you still flatter him and call him brother. You are really good. Zhao Gao gave Yi Zai-ochan a thumbs up. Then, he poured a cup of hot tea and splashed it directly on Liu Bang's face. Liu Bang, who was in a coma, was suddenly awakened. His head was in a daze now. He just felt a pain in the back of his head and fainted before, and he had no idea what happened. At this time, Liu Bang was awakened by a cup of hot water and felt confused. Liu Bang, do you still recognize me? Yi Zai-ochan will be cut off in the next 2 chapters. Please read and collect. Chapter 41 Brothers and Dear Friends. Liu Bang, do you still recognize me? Liu Bang was attracted by the voice. He saw Zhao Gao looking at him with a teasing look on his face. Facing Zhao Gao, Liu Bang only felt that he looked familiar, but judging from his posture, he was definitely not here with good intentions. Well, he could only look familiar. After all, the Zhao Gao he knew had the vicissitudes of life on his face. And the Zhao Gao in front of him has regained his youth, especially after practicing the golden light mantra of Langhu Mountain's dual cultivation of sex and life. His spirit and momentum are completely different, so it is natural that he can't recognize him. But even if he didn't recognize him for a while, he knew that someone was sent to tie him up here, and the man in front of him was definitely not kind enough to invite him to drink tea. This sir, I'm blind to recognize the great man, but I accidentally offended you, and I apologize to you here. You don't recognize me, then look at your good brother next to you first. Zhao Gao smiled and pointed at Yi Zai-ochan. Liu Bang was attracted by Zhao Gao's attention, and temporarily didn't see Yi Zai-ochan, who was dejected. As Zhao Gao pointed, Liu Bang finally saw Yi Zai-ochan. Zai-ochan. Liu Bang's eyes lit up. It's good to have acquaintances, especially his good brother, who is stupid and easy to fool. Yi Zai-ochan glanced at Liu Bang and smiled bitterly. Long time no see, big brother. Hey, my good brother, tell me what's going on. Is there any misunderstanding? Liu Bang hurried to Yi Zai-ochan's side, trying to get a little sense of security. There is no misunderstanding. Have you forgotten that you tied us up for corvée? Corvée. Liu Bang's mind suddenly woke up. He remembered Yi Zai-ochan and his friend Gao Yao. But Gao Yao's previous disheveled appearance is too different from now. So he didn't recognize him for a while. This is a misunderstanding, Lord Gao Yao. Although he didn't know Zhao Gao's current identity, he knew that he was not someone he could afford to offend at first glance. So, he decisively admitted his defeat, to save his life first. At that time, the officers and soldiers forcibly arrested the two of you, in order to complete the task. I tried my best to stop them, but there was nothing I could do, because I was outnumbered. Liu Bang's face was full of guilt, and his words sounded better than singing. He was still talking nonsense, and trying to put the blame on the officers and soldiers. It's okay for you to deceive Yi Zai-ochan, but don't deceive yourself. Zhao Gao sneered at Liu Bang with disdain. Isn't it because two of your corvée laborers ran away that you got us drunk to take our place? Liu bang. Do you really think I don't know what you did? Zhao Gao grabbed the tea bowl and threw it on Liu bang's head. The tea bowl directly smashed a wound on Liu bang's head. But Liu bang didn't dare to fart. He had to put all his hopes on Yi Zhao. My dear brother. My dear brother. I was wrong. Please forgive me once. Liu bang grabbed Yi Zhao sleeve and begged, please beg your brother to let me go. Even if you don't consider the brotherhood, please help me, plead for me for the sake of Lu Zhi and Susu. We are a family. Liu bang used all his tricks to survive at this time. Zhao Gao. Yi Zhao looked at Liu bang with blood on his forehead and a pleading face and said to Zhao Gao with difficulty, why not let him go? You see, he knows he is wrong. And he is the Emperor Gaozu of the Han Dynasty in later generations. He can't die here. And when will the cycle of revenge end? What can you get, even if you take revenge? And you have no loss, right? Now you have a lot of adventures, and you have learned a lot of magic, right? Yi Zhao words made Liu laugh. Yi Zhao, what can I say about you? You are indeed a modern man. You are really good at moral kidnapping. People who are generous are called moral icons, and those who persuade others to be generous are called moral bitches. Old Zhao, what's wrong? You have to stay away from Yi Zhao. No. Why? Because when Yi Zhao is struck by lightning, it is easy to implicate you. The two of them said something sarcastic, making Yi Zhao's face red. I don't know if he was embarrassed or angry. Of course, it is impossible to be ashamed. People like Yi Zhao will not be ashamed. He is purely angry. Do you really think he doesn't go to day and club to listen to crosstalk? Huh. Liu bang. Do you know what the identity of this person in front of you is now? Liu no longer paid attention to Yi Zhao, who was blushing and speechless, but turned to look at Liu bang. Without waiting for Liu bang to speak, Liu continued, the man in front of you is now the Imperial Master. When you are in this Imperial Master's mansion, as long as he shouts softly, hundreds of people will come and chop you into mud. Liu bang shuddered with fear. He looked around the courtyards as soon as he woke up. To be honest, he thought that the person in front of him might not be of low status at the beginning, but he didn't expect that he was now the Imperial Master. Zhao Gao blew a whistle. Hundreds of soldiers with long knives surrounded the corners. Now, if I say a word, your meat will be chopped up and fed to the dogs. Zhao Gao changed the subject and continued, but I will give you a chance to live. Zhao Gao took out a dagger and threw it at Liu bang's feet with a clang. Pick up this dagger. If you kill Yi Zhao, I will let you go. This is not okay. Lord Gao Yao, I'm Yi Zhao's elder brother. How can I kill my brother? Liu bang knelt down with a snap. I've already let him down once. How can I draw my sword against him again? Zhao Gao. Don't go too far. Yi Zhao looked at Zhao Gao angrily and said, he has already knelt down to apologize. What else do you want? Yi Zhao was deeply moved by Liu bang's performance. In his opinion, his good brother had already admitted his mistakes and apologized. What else did he want? This was the future Emperor Gaozu of Han. Liu bang. Liu bang. I'll give you one last chance. Pick up the dagger and kill Yi Zhao, and I'll let you live. No, I really can't. Please let me go this time. I really can't do anything to Zhao. He is my brother, my dearest friend. So do you want more money? Liu looked at Liu bang strangely and added a sentence for him in his heart. And by the way, he had nothing to say. Zhao Gao, for the sake of our past friendship, can you give me this face and let him go this time? Yi Zhao softened his tone and pleaded with Zhao Gao. That won't do. Zhao Gao shook his head. The good friend who was sincere to you in the past was called Gao Yao, but now I'm Zhao Gao, so your face is useless to me. Only one of you can leave alive today. Make your choice. Liu also spoke up. We all come from the same place. Why bother to be so aggressive? Do you really want to see us brothers killing each other? Yes, that's what I think. Do you have any objections? I just want to see if you are still so hypocritical in a life and death crisis. I tell you it's impossible. We brothers will never. Oh. Yi Zhao didn't finish his words. He felt a pain in his body and cried out in pain. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42 is gone. When Uchiha was begging for mercy with Zaogeo, he didn't see that his good elder brother, Emperor Gaozu of Han, Liu Bang, had already revealed a dangerous look behind him. When Liu Bang knelt down, his real purpose was actually the dagger thrown on the ground. He didn't really have a deep brotherly relationship with Uchiha, but he knew that Uchiha was a martial arts expert and was no match for him in a head-on conflict. As for why he was so sure that Zaogeo would let him go if he killed Uchiha, it was of course because of the little hypnotic suggestion Liu gave him. With the strength of an ordinary person like Liu Bang, Liu didn't even need to open the Sharingan to give him a suggestion. So Liu Bang seemed to be kneeling on the ground begging for mercy, but in fact he knelt down next to the dagger. When Uchiha was still begging for mercy for his elder brother, Liu Bang had already gently grasped the dagger on the ground. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. This thought kept coming up in Liu Bang's mind. Kill him and I can live. Liu Bang's bloodshot eyes were fixed on Uchiha's back. Then he suddenly took a step forward. A knife. Don't worry about whether it was a knife or a dagger. The word knife is used here just to make it easier to describe, and a few words are added by the way. Stabbed at Uchiha's lower back. Liu and Zaogeo naturally saw Liu Bang's action, but they didn't remind them at all. They just watched Liu Bang holding a dagger and stabbed Uchiha's kidney with a knife. Puff. The sound of the dagger piercing the flesh, accompanied by Uchiha's cry of pain, sounded at the same time. And that's not all. At the moment when Liu Bang's dagger pierced, he twisted it. Ah! Uchiha screamed in pain. An elbow hit knocked Liu Bang back. Uchiha used all his strength to attack, and Liu Bang's body flew backwards, taking away the dagger that was inserted into Uchiha's body. Puff. Blood gushed out directly. Brother, you. Uchiha looked at Liu Bang in disbelief. With blood. Brother, I have no choice. Look at the soldiers around me. I want to live. Good brother, you will help me, right? Liu Bang was extremely emotional. His eyes were red, and he held a bloody dagger in his hand. Brother, please help me. Liu Bang looked at Uchiha and rushed up again with a dagger in his hand. He stabbed Uchiha in the chest mercilessly. I don't believe that there is no personal grudge between them. Zaogeo and the other man ate melon seeds and watched the performance of the two. Lu Zhi has always liked Uchiha. Didn't she send Uchiha to build the Great Wall because she hoped that Uchiha would never come back? Yes, she even said hypocritically that she would save him even if she lost everything. Ugh. Zaogeo spat out the melon seed shells and said disdainfully, he is just a villain. That's perfect. Liu smiled and said, a hypocrite and a real villain. These two people are a perfect match. At this time, Liu Bang and Uchiha were already fighting together. Liu Bang held a sharp weapon and kept stabbing at Uchiha's vital points. Uchiha was injured in advance and was bleeding continuously. The two negative buffs of bleeding and pain added together made it impossible for him to display his martial arts. In just a few rounds, Uchiha had new injuries. Brother, calm down. Uchiha resisted Liu Bang's attack and kept saying words to calm him down, trying to make Liu Bang stop. Brother, since you recognize me as your elder brother, then please fulfill my wish. Lu Zhi is still waiting for me to return. Liu Bang's hand was held by Uchiha, and the two began to wrestle. Do you really want me to die? We are sworn brothers. I want to live. If I live, you must die, so just go with peace of mind. Liu Bang said as he exerted force with both hands, and the dagger was getting closer and closer to Uchiha's heart. Uchiha gradually lost his strength and saw that the dagger was about to pierce his heart. He pushed hard, and the dagger instantly deviated from its direction, and Liu Bang's hand also slashed down uncontrollably. With a swishing sound, the hem of Uchiha's clothes was cut. A stream of blood spurted out of his lower body. Fuck. Oh my god. Liu and Xiaogao had never expected this situation. Yi Xiaochuan was cut directly by Liu Bang. Question mark? Yi Xiaochuan screamed in pain. At this moment, he also went crazy. He was useless. Question mark? Yi Xiaochuan clearly felt that his lower body was empty and something fell down. Feeling the pain in his lower body, Yi Xiaochuan went crazy. What sworn brother? What Hangeo Zu Liu Bang? At this moment Yi Xiaochuan was so angry that he tore off his disguise. Kill him. I want to kill you. Then a surge of strength surged in his body and he slapped Liu Bang's wrist. The dagger flew out of his hand and was snatched by Yi Xiaochuan. Picking up the dagger, Yi Xiaochuan stabbed Liu Bang's stomach fiercely. Ah! The dagger stabbed into the stomach, drawing out a stream of blood, and then stabbed it again. Yi Xiaochuan's eyes were red, like a madman, stabbing the opponent's body one by one. Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? Yi Xiaochuan kept shouting such words in his mouth, but he kept stabbing Liu Bang's stomach with the dagger in his hand. Woo. Liu Bang kept spitting blood from his mouth. His whole body was also dyed red by the spurting blood. The blood-red palm grabbed Yi Xiaochuan's collar hard. But with Yi Xiaochuan's crazy attack, Liu Bang's hands were no longer strong. He slowly loosened Yi Xiaochuan's collar and then fell to the ground with a thump. His eyes were wide open, staring at Yi Xiaochuan. How cruel. He stabbed his sworn brother 26 times. You are wrong. It was 27 times. You didn't count the first time. Liu corrected Xiaogao's mistake. At this time, 3 muffled thunder suddenly sounded in the sky. Liu and Xiaogao each received 200,000 points at this time. However, when these 3 muffled thunder sounded, Liu always felt a little creepy. With a thump, Yi Xiaochuan lay on his back on the ground with a dead silence in his eyes, and he had no desire to live. The hypocritical mask he had always worn was torn to pieces, and he was betrayed by everyone he trusted. It was not right to say that he trusted. He licked Liu Bang on his knees, and it was not an exaggeration to say that he was a licking dog. To put it in an analogy, it was like a girl who was licked on her knees had her kidneys stabbed with a knife. Well, this feeling was almost right. Are you satisfied now? Yi Xiaochuan lay on the ground with no desire to live. His internal organs were ruptured, and he was bleeding profusely. He felt that he was going to die. Liu watched Yi Xiaochuan take 2 steps forward, squatted on the ground, and then a green light flashed on his hand. Life force slowly flowed into Yi Xiaochuan's body. How is it? Now you can see the true face of your good brother. Yi Xiaochuan did not reply to Liu's words. Now you have revenge. Yes, I have revenge. Xiaogao smiled happily. Chapter 43, The Assassination of the Emperor Qin. Not only Liu Bang's death, Yi Xiaochuan's knife also made him feel the pain he had experienced. Forcing us to kill each other like this, Xiaogao, can you live with your conscience? He did not dare to say Liu, and he still did not know Liu's name. Why should I have a guilty conscience? This is what he deserves. Xiaogao pointed at Liu Bang's body. He hurt me so badly, and now I'm very happy to see him like this. Okay, your life is saved, but I can't connect the cut parts for you. I know, you want me to feel the pain that Xiaogao suffered before. Yi Xiaochuan was lying on the ground, and was completely rotten. That's right, Liu nodded. You always say that Xiaogao did something wrong. Then you can empathize with him and see if you can accept your own experience. To be honest, Yi Xiaochuan, I really hate you. Liu left a sentence indifferently and ignored Yi Xiaochuan. You ask me if I was satisfied, then I tell you, I'm very satisfied. Xiaogao looked down at Yi Xiaochuan. He hurt me so badly, didn't he deserve to die? And you, Yi Xiaochuan, you are hypocritical. Talking about morality, but in the end, you killed your own brother with your own hands. Xiaogao's face was full of sarcasm. Then why don't you just kill me too? That will be revenge, won't it? No. I want you to live. I want you to see with your own eyes what the great Qin I built is like. You are a playboy and hypocritical, falling in love with every woman you meet. I will let you see Yushu with your own eyes, and prevent lovers from getting married. Yi Xiaochuan, this is my punishment for you. You just hide aside like a waste, killing someone and destroying their heart. Zaogao's goal was achieved. After being cured by Liu, Yi Ziochuan lost his spirit. Yi Ziochuan left in despair. It's not that he doesn't care about his life, he just knows the times. Liu clearly wants to deal with him. What can he do? With Liu's methods, how can he fight with his head? To put it bluntly, Yi Ziochuan has always been a person who bullies the weak and fears the strong. And this time Liu clearly wants to bully him. What can you do? Either fight with others and then be slapped to death. Or keep your tail between your legs and behave yourself. As for what will happen to Yi Ziochuan in the future, Zaogao no longer cares. Liu Bang died with his eyes open, and Yi Ziochuan is a completely different person to him in the future. Just like the world's richest man will not care about the beggars in the dark corners. The gap between them is greater than the gap between humans and dogs. He, Zaogao, is going to become an immortal. System. I feel that this score is a bit unreasonable. Liu Bang is the first emperor of Han Dynasty, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, and he is the protagonist. Why do you give him 200,000 points? The chat group did not have intelligence at the beginning. After the upgrade, a small function was added, similar to the penguin robot. Some questions can be consulted. When group members make actions to change the world, cause and effect will be generated. The greater the cause and effect with the world, the more likely they will be rejected by the world. Therefore, a large part of the cause and effect is used to shield the world. Moreover, the cause and effect generated by group members will be dispersed to other people in the world because of the influence. Others cannot use it, which does not necessarily mean that it does not exist. Therefore, the final points are the benefits after the cause and effect are shared. Liu understood. This thing is just like the reward points of a big egg, and the cause and effect points used in the conferred god list. To put it bluntly, these things are all cause and effect with the world. If there is no system to balance the cause and effect of the world, the three thunders at that time would have been struck down, and the thunder with the power of the world would definitely not be blocked with your current strength. Looking at the system's explanation, Liu's mind was as clear as a mirror. To put it bluntly, the system's points are the power of cause and effect. Liu has also read the book of a certain Zed, the founder of the infinite flow. In particular, the clone Chuzuan got the investiture of the gods, but using the power of cause and effect will have great sequelae and will be rejected by the world. Therefore, the jade disc of creation is needed to balance cause and effect. Here the system reminds the host not to cause too much damage to the world. Otherwise, even if the cause and effect is balanced, the world consciousness will target or hunt you down. Liu also thought of this point prompted by the system. According to the practice of a certain big egg, this will indeed be targeted, and a certain glasses man dare not pull too much wool in the same world. Liu thought of this, and suddenly compared the two. Both can connect the heavens and the worlds, but a certain egg will not balance cause and effect. Pulling too much wool will increase the difficulty of the world, and the rewards given are actually very stingy. The chat group will help you balance cause and effect and will not let you be targeted. Of course, don't go too far or the system will not be able to help you settle things. To put it bluntly, there are no middlemen in the chat group to make a profit, so it gives more. Is this probably what it means? In other words, the status of the chat group and a certain egg is actually similar. Maybe it's even higher. Liu is not sure about this, but don't worry, he will be sure of it in the future in a short time. And late at night, Xianyang Palace. Qin Shi Huang was sleeping soundly at this time. At this time, a figure that no one could have imagined had quietly sneaked into Qin Shi Huang's bedroom. It turned out to be the old eunuch who had been serving him. The old eunuch moved lightly, and his body skills were extremely fast. There was no sound when he landed and turned around. It can be seen that he is very skilled. The old eunuch was a descendant of the Six Kingdoms, and he had been lurking beside Qin Shi Huang to pass on information. According to his skills, if he had found an opportunity to assassinate Qin Shi Huang in the past, he would have had a 40% chance of success. But he didn't dare to do it without being absolutely sure. It was not easy for the organization to send him to this position. But today he had to go all out. He had seen Zaogao's golden light curse, which was invulnerable to swords and guns, and could not be harmed by water and fire. Especially the immortal master's magic was even more shocking. With a wave of his hand, rocks broke and mountains collapsed. If Qin Shi Huang could master the magic in the future, who in the world could kill him? Damn Zeng. How come you are so lucky to be favored by the immortal? The old eunuch only dared to curse Qin Shi Huang in his heart, but he didn't dare to curse Li Yu. In that era, it was important to know that there was a god above your head. What if he cursed Li Yu, and he knew about it? After all, he was a god. The old eunuch slowly moved to Qin Shi Huang's side, and looking at the sleeping Qin Shi Huang, the old eunuch took out the weapon he carried with him. Without any nonsense, he stabbed Qin Shi Huang's heart directly. But at the moment, when the old eunuch took action, Qin Shi Huang suddenly opened his eyes, and a thin golden light suddenly surged from his body. The old eunuch immediately recognized the golden light on Qin Shi Huang's body. It was exactly the same as Zhao Gao in the hall today. Chapter 44. Under one person. But compared to Zhao Gao's strong golden light, Qin Shi Huang's looked very weak. But no matter what, the old eunuch had already made a move, and it was too late to retract it. Ding. Qin Shi Huang's hand directly grasped the old eunuch's weapon, and then he broke it hard. Bang. A sharp bronze dagger was directly broken by Qin Shi Huang. Then Qin Shi Huang punched the old eunuch in the chest, knocking him flying backwards. I thought someone would come to assassinate me tonight, but I didn't expect it to be you, Wang Liu. Watching Wang Liu flying backwards being captured by the guards who came after asking, Qin Shi Huang spoke lightly. You did it on purpose. No wonder the guards were so weak tonight. Qin Shi Huang's guards were usually 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. Wang Liu observed several times, and the guards tonight were really weak, not a false appearance. There were no masters hiding in the dark, and no guards hiding. That's why Wang Liu wanted to take the risk, even if it meant exchanging one life for another, and it was fine to kill Qin Shi Huang and then be caught. He never thought he could run away. That's right, I knew that someone would be restless after the appearance of the immortal master. After Zhao Gao agreed to be the Qin dynasty's national teacher, he quietly taught Qin Shi Huang the golden light curse. The chat group can strengthen the designated target, not just the group members, so Zhao Gao directly helped Qin Shi Huang strengthen 5,000 points. So Qin Shi Huang directly mastered the most basic golden light curse. Of course, even the most basic golden light curse belongs to the ranks of extraordinary people, so it can easily control ordinary people. After all, in the mythological world, even people with high martial arts skills have not transcended the realm of ordinary people. Of course, Xiang Yu may be an exception. Take him away, torture him, and then chop him off. Qin Shi Huang waved his hand to decide his fate. Wang Liu didn't say anything. He knew he couldn't survive, and it was useless to say more nonsense. It would be better to find the right opportunity to commit suicide, so that he wouldn't have to suffer. The old eunuch was dragged away, and Qin Shi Huang was left alone in the room. Feeling his own power, I will not fear any enemy in the future. As for what you said about Li Yu and Zhao Gao, they are not my enemies, so I'm not afraid. Qin Shi Huang's Xianyang Palace affairs do not hinder Li Yu. Li Yu slept until dawn. The next morning, Zhao Gao began to select the first batch of soldiers for cultivation. After selecting them, Li Yu had to help plant the seal. This is a must. No one knows whether there will be any traitors among these soldiers. People's hearts cannot stand the test, so it is safer to bring some control measures. Zhao Gao went to select soldiers. Li Yu was idle. He prepared all kinds of books, from iron and steel smelting, to salt making, paper making, printing, and all kinds of modern knowledge. There are hundreds of books. However, Li Yu will not send these books to Qin Shi Huang. Li Yu's image is an immortal, and he has to be upright when he should be upright. There are immortals who run over to deliver things every day, so this task can be handed over to Zhao Gao slowly. Li Yu only waited for Zhao Gao to select the soldiers, and then carved the seal, and then the task was completed. With so many cross-era things, if Qin Shi Huang could not produce some results within a year, then this Emperor of the Ages would be called in vain. Soon, 30,000 soldiers were selected, plus the 200 officers and soldiers in Zhao Gao's own mansion, a total of 30,200 people, all of whom were sealed by Li Yu. Then collectively practiced the Golden Light Curse. These are the original team to conquer the world. It doesn't take too long, just 1 year, and the Qin dynasty will undergo unparalleled changes. Chat group. In order to restore the text messaging mode of the Penguin group, the conversations in the chat group were not added with symbols, but some book friends suggested that it looked awkward, so symbols will be added later. Himura Kenshin. Speaking of Liu, when are you coming to my place? My power of the robber should be the prop for you to go back to the past time and space. Liu. Next month, I have 3 opportunities to travel through time every month. I have used it twice this month, and there is one more time to go to Chulan. Zhang Chulan. We are already preparing to set off for Luotian Daijio. When will you come? Liu. When you get to the foot of Langhu Mountain, find a deserted place and I'll go over. Zhang Chulan. Okay, no problem. Sabo. Damn, I got the news that Ace has been captured by Blackbird. It's too late for me to go. Sabo. If possible, I hope to get your help. Liu. At this time, I think it's too much. The Navy has 3 admirals, Garp and Sengoku. If the situation gets out of hand, the 5 elders may intervene. I can only hold back 1 admiral at most. I'm just holding him back. Liu. But it's not completely impossible. There are 2 high-level combat forces in the group at Uchiha Madara at Yakumo Yukari. Uchiha Madara. No problem. I'm very interested in the strength of the 3 admirals. Yakumo Yukari. I want to go to the Celestial Dragons for a tour. I have a lot of empty sin bags. The darkness in the hearts of the Celestial Dragons, Lumia, should like it very much. Liu. This is a good idea. Let's catch a few hundred Celestial Dragons as food for Lumia. Those livestock are not even as good as monsters. Liu absolutely agrees with the Celestial Dragons garbage as food. Because some things are worse than monsters. Liu. By the way, there should be a lot of good things in the Celestial Dragon's treasure house. At that time, you can get some devil fruits and exchange them for points, karma. It is recommended to empty it directly. Liu. Then it's settled. Several people directly decided the fate of the Cheyenne Lang people. After Zhao finished his business, Liu did not return to his side. Instead, he came directly to the world under one person. Fuck, Zhang Chulan, you really know how to find a place. As soon as Liu appeared, he smelled a foul smell. Zhang Chulan, this grandson, actually summoned him from the back of a public beater at the foot of Langhu Mountain. Hey, isn't this the only place with no one? Zhang Chulan smiled embarrassedly and said, let's go quickly. Let's go. Don't waste time. The smell is really too strong. After that, the 2 hurried out. Zhang Chulan brought Liu to the foot of Langhu Mountain. Looking at the bustling crowd, Liu had a feeling of returning to his previous life. After all, Under One Person was modeled and filmed according to the original world. The various environments are naturally exactly the same as the world in the previous life. To be honest, Liu came here for tourism. After all, this wave is estimated to earn only tens of thousands of points. Using the algorithm of the egg, at most a sea-level branch. This time it is mainly to witness Zhang Chulan's underworld scene. Recorded by the way. Zhang Chulan took Liu to find Susan, Zusi and Feng Bao. Chulan, where have you been? Chapter 45. Anyway, I only like to look at girls. Zusi looked at Zhang Chulan and asked curiously, why did you bring back a handsome guy? I tell you that, although you can't get close to women, you can't touch men either. Hey, 4th brother, don't slander me. I like pretty girls. Don't ruin my reputation. Zhang Chulan knew that Zusi was a dog with a mouth that couldn't spit out ivory. I tell you, this is the helper I begged for with great difficulty. With my brother you here, the leader of the Luotian Daijio will not be able to escape from our palms. Is it that amazing? Don't brag, kid. Zusi looked at Liu in disbelief. No matter how strong he is, can he be stronger than Bao? Don't say it. If 4th brother really fights, sister Bao is not his opponent. Zhang Chulan said confidently. That's impossible. I don't believe it. You know how powerful Bao is. You expect such a young man to be better than Bao? Then how did you know this, little brother? You should know Bao's situation. Don't mess around. Zusan also whispered to Zhang Chulan's ear with a suspicious face. Brother San, there's no need to speak in a low voice. Brother you knows more than you think. He even knows a little about Sister Bao's life experience. It is precisely because of this that I specially invited brother Yu to come. Zhang Chulin's words were no less than planting a bomb in the hearts of the three people. Tell me. Feng Bao grabbed Li Yu's sleeve, and for the first time, a Sanwu face showed a nervous expression. Bao. Calm down. Zusi grabbed Feng Bao, and he and Zusan protected her behind them. Who are you? Zusan and Zusi looked at Li Yu nervously, and even looked at Zhang Chulin with scrutiny. And Feng Bao was waiting anxiously, trying to pull the two people apart. Don't be nervous, my name is Li Yu, and I'm Zhang Chulin's friend. And the things about Feng Bao, it wasn't Zhang Chulin who told me, I know more about him than your father. Zusan and Zusi would not believe Li Yu, just because of a few words. You know, Feng Bao has the secret of immortality. Are you afraid that I covet the secret of Feng Bao's immortality? He really? Zusan and Zusi looked at Li Yu nervously. There were many ordinary people around, and they couldn't do anything here. There's no need to worry. I know how Feng Bao became immortal, and I also know what's wrong with her memory. Let's talk about it while we go up the mountain. Li Yu waved to the three people and said, let's go. Third brother, fourth brother, sister Bao. My brother Yu has no ill intentions. You could recognize everyone as your brother? There's no way. Brother Yu is powerful and has helped me a lot. Zhang Chulin said meanly, this time, brother Yu is here to solve your doubts. Is he so kind? Just give us the information for free. Zusi said he didn't believe it, by judging others by himself. Zusan was silent, watching Li Yu's mind constantly analyzing and calculating something. That's for sure, just trust me for once. Can I harm Sister Bao? Zhang Chulin looked confident. Actually, this time I came here just to help Zhang Chulin win the Luotian Daijiu. After all, the old Shianshi set up such a big stall for him, and he can't let others take advantage. The second is that Quan Crossing is preparing to make trouble in Langhu Mountain. Zhang Chulin asked me to settle the matter. After Quan Crossing is settled, I will tell you about Feng Bao's life experience. Don't worry, it's all freely, you said with a smile. Can't tell now. Feng Bao said pitifully in Sichuan dialect. Your life experience is quite special, and the amount of information is relatively large, so I will tell you after the matter is resolved, so that you can slowly digest it. Anyway, it's been so many years, and I don't care about these 2 or 3 days. Li Yu's words made the three people silent for a while. Sainasia, I believe him. Feng Bao can sense people's kindness and malice to a certain extent, and she can't feel Li Yu's malice. So Feng Bao chose to believe. Well, since the baby said so, we will believe you for the time being. Zusan nodded, after thinking about it. Then Zusi reacted and said, by the way, you mean Quan Crossing is coming? Well, Quan Crossing wants to take this opportunity to make trouble. Their goal is the secret of the Jiaishan Rebellion. But you don't have to worry, I'm here to deal with it, Li Yu said very casually. Seeing Li Yu telling the truth, Zusan and Zusi were not at ease at all. But they still decided to see Li Yu's strength at the Luotian Grand Ceremony first. And they would never take Li Yu lightly. In just a few words, several people came to the ticket office. Brother San, go and buy all the tickets for us, by the way. After watching Li Yu's video, Zhang Chulin naturally knew that Langhu Mountain was selling tickets. He would not go and say something like, I came to participate in the Luotian Grand Ceremony as before. I'll kill you. Zusi looked down on Zhang Chulin fiercely and then let Zusan go to buy the tickets. You've been talking for so long, but you still want the third brother to buy the ticket. Zusan was pushed out by everyone to buy the ticket with a black face. Behind him, Zhang Chulin criticized Zusi fiercely. Your fourth brother is poor. Zusi took a deep puff of cigarette and sighed. Where's your salary? Zhang Chulin knew that Zusi's salary was not low at all. He went to Honglang for healthcare. You can tell that he is not a good person by looking at the names of the moves he taught Feng Bao. Hey, how can you slander me? Zusi was immediately unhappy. Although Li Yu was telling the truth, you can't say it to his face. And you are not our employee, why are you still buying tickets for free? What are you talking about? I'm here to help Zhang Chulin. How dare you let me buy the ticket myself? Li Yu said righteously. Then let Zhang Chulin buy it. But Zhang Chulin is your employee, isn't that different? Besides, I don't have any money. Liu put his hands on his waist and his momentum was more than that of a traveler in Tibet. You don't have money, so what's the point of being proud? So please take care of your spending these days. Bang. Liu slapped Zusi on the shoulder, almost knocking him to the ground. This guy has such a strong hand. Zusi was surprised. This guy's really bad. His shoulder must be swollen. Zusi suffered a loss. At this time, Zusen had bought the ticket and came back. What's the matter? Zusen looked at Zusi's grinning face and asked curiously. It's okay, what can happen to me? Zusi would not say that his shoulder was swollen because someone patted his shoulder. Then where would his face be? So the four of them started climbing the mountain. Along the way, Liu saw many acquaintances. What Lulinglong, Beishiksu, Zhi Jinhua. Ah, why do you only look at girls? If you like Kanglong, go and watch it. Anyway, Liu only likes to look at girls. Chapter 46 Gossip about Lingyu Zenran. During the climb, Liu and his companions also met Wang Yi from Wudang Mountain. Although they had known Wang Yi for a long time, Liu and Zhang Chulan pretended not to know him. After a few words, they climbed together. In fact, it was mainly because Wang Yi followed them shamelessly. Just like that, they chatted and watched the scenery all the way, and they had climbed to the top of Longhu Mountain without knowing it. They saw the Longhu Mountain Taoist temple, and also saw the white-bearded old man who was in front of the Taoist temple, and was greeting two middle-aged men. Seeing this white-bearded old man, Liu immediately recognized that this was the old Taoist master Zhang Ziwei, one of the best in the under one person, nicknamed one person under one person. You go first. Liu gestured to Wang Yi and Zhang Chulan. Wang didn't say anything, but nodded, led Zhang Chulan, walked straight to the old Taoist master, and bowed slightly and said, Wudang Wang Yi, meet the old Taoist master. Looking at Wang Yi and the old Taoist master, Liu was slightly stunned. In fact, the comic adapted TV series, Under One Person, is very well made, and can be regarded as conscientious. The characters and scenes are restored as much as possible. It is completely crushed compared to Fox Spirit Matchmaker. As for what kind of a thing Fox Spirit Matchmaker is, AIOE, you are still pushing it with a licking face TUI. Long time no see, everyone from Nadatong. Just as Liu was staring at Wang Yi, the old Taoist priest, and wandering in the sky in a daze. Behind Liu, a gentle voice sounded. Hearing this voice, Liu and several others turned their heads and looked in the direction of the voice. Immediately, they saw Zhang Lingyu with long white hair. At this moment, Zhang Lingyu's face was completely free of the coldness when he fought with Zhang Chulan that night. Instead, he showed a warm smile and looked at Zusan, Zusi and Feng Bao Bao. This gentleman looks unfamiliar. Is he a newcomer from Nadatong? Zhang Lingyu looked at Liu and smiled gently, with a polite attitude. Master Lingyu, hello, I'm Liu, and I'm also a member of the Nadatong. I came here to join in the fun. Liu saw that Zhang Lingyu was humble and gentle to the others, so he naturally responded politely. However, he started to talk nonsense without telling the truth. Zusan wanted to explain, but was pulled by Zusi. Hello, Liu. The venue for this Luotian Grand Ceremony is in the back mountain. There are still 2 hours before the selection begins. Please don't miss the registration. Zhang Lingyu saw that Liu was friendly and reminded the others. Hey Master Lingyu, long time no see. Just as Zhang Lingyu kindly reminded Liu of some precautions. Wang Yi, who had just greeted the old Taoist priest, also came to Liu and the others. Long time no see, Taoist Wang Yi. Hearing Wang Yi's greeting, Zhang Lingyu also responded with a smile. The two are old acquaintances, and facing Wang Yi, Zhang Lingyu smiled like a spring breeze. In short, except for Zhang Chulan, Zhang Lingyu was humble and polite to everyone, smiling and smiling. Just when the few people were talking happily, Zhang Chulan came back. Little master uncle, long time no see. Facing Zhang Chulan, Zhang Lingyu didn't have a good face. He snorted coldly, since you are here, you should behave well, and don't embarrass Longhu Mountain. Then he clasped his fists to Zusan and Zusi. I have something else to do, please go by yourselves. After saying that, he turned around and left without leaving a glance at Zhang Chulan. According to the information, Zhang Lingai is humble and polite and treats people and things like a spring breeze. Why is he so indifferent to Chulan? Zusi was really confused by Zhang Lingai's attitude. I'm also very surprised about this. It stands to reason that Master Lingai will not target someone in particular. Wang Yi has known Zhang Lingai for many years, and he feels that Zhang Lingai is not the kind of person who is mean to others. Alas, it's all tears if I talk too much about these things. Zhang Chulan naturally knew the reason. That's why he felt that fate was unfair. What others regarded as snakes and scorpions was what he dreamed of. Hey, Chulan, do you know what's going on? Several people began to walk towards the back of Langhu Mountain and chatted as they walked. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on at first, but later it was Brother Yu who told me. I really felt that Junior Master Uncle was completely ungrateful for what he had. Zhang Chulan's face was full of grief and indignation. Hiss, I'm so curious about the little thing you said. Yeah, Chulan, tell me. Zusi put his hand on Zhang Chulan's shoulder. No, I can't say this is Junior Master Uncle's secret. You ask Brother Yu. If he tells you, it's none of my business. Zhang Chulan shook his head frantically. After listening to Zhang Chulan's words, Zusi turned his head to Li Yu with a smile on his face. That Li Yu. This information is not given away for free. Li Yu narrowed his eyes and looked at Zusi. This is too expensive, so I won't listen. Zusi was itching in his heart, but he was afraid that Li Yu would ask for too much. After we get off the mountain, you can treat me to a romantic foot massage. I want a young one. No problem. Zusi's eyes lit up. He didn't expect that Li Yu was a fellow traveler. Then I'll tell you about it. As soon as Li Yu said this, Wang Yi, Susan and Zusi immediately pricked up their ears. Their eyes widened like elementary school students listening attentively. Does Zhang Lingai hate Zhang Chulan, or is it related to the Langhu Mountain Thunder Method? This is not right. Zhang Chulan knows the Thunder Method, and Zhang Lingai also knows it. Zusi was puzzled. Don't interrupt. Li Yu rolled his eyes at Zusi. Look at your brother. What a quiet person he is. Oh, he is quiet, but I don't know what this squinting-eyed guy is saying when he is quiet. Are you still going to listen? Listen. Tell me. This is the Five Thunders orthodox method of Langhu Mountain. It is a symbol of the identity of the successor to the Heavenly Master. It is divided into two parts, the upper and lower parts. And the previous generation of Heavenly Master can teach the successor half of the Thunder method in advance, which is the Palm Thunder. This Thunder method is called the Five Thunders, but it is actually the Five Ki. It is a kind of boy's skill. It must be started with a virgin body to allow the heart and lungs of the 5 Ki in the body to rise. The Ki body is in the shape of a pure white electric arc, dazzling, dry and burning. But what if this person lost his virginity before becoming a monk? So there is a modified version of the Yin 5 Thunders, specially practiced for people who have lost their virginity. Zhang Lingai who practiced the Yin 5 Thunders. You get it, right? Li Yu raised his eyebrows. Hiss. Are you saying that Zhang Lingai, who looks like she is abstinent, is not a virgin? Zusi took a breath. Even Wang Yi couldn't help but sigh that this Lingai Zenran was playing around. Zhang Lingai always felt that he had broken the precepts, which was a stain. So when facing Zhang Chulan who practiced Yang Wu Lei, he couldn't stand it, no matter how he looked at him. In fact, it's just that the stubborn tsundere is making things difficult for himself. Chapter 47 Flying Thunder God. So, Junior Master just doesn't know how to appreciate his blessings. Zhang Chulan's dissatisfied voice came. I still want to find a girlfriend, but I'm still powerless. Wang Yi, what are you saying, Chulan? Can't you do it? You can't do it. Your whole family can't do it. Zhang Chulan's reaction was like his appendix was stepped on. He was so anxious that he jumped up and down. Chulan's grandfather put forbidden sand on his body, so you know Li Yu teased on the side. He can't even. Li Yu clenched his fists and gestured up and down. Oh, so that's how it is. Wang Yi suddenly realized. Hey, aren't you talking about Junior Master? Why are you making up stories about me? Zhang Chulan quickly stopped the topic. Otherwise, he would lose face, although he didn't have many to begin with. This Lingai Zenran has so many fans. Which big guy took his first blood? Zusi asked with a cigarette in his mouth. I can't tell you about this. It's no secret. That Zhang Ling guy who practiced Yunwu Lei. Anyone who knows can see it. I'll tell you about it. But who is the heroine? I can't tell you. I can only say that this woman is very famous in the world of extraordinary people. You all know her. Liu said half of his words and walked forward directly, which made these people anxious. Hey, don't say half of your words. Zusi immediately chased after him. Except for Zhang Chulan who knew the answer at the moment, and Feng Bao who was not interested. The rest of the people were all worried by Liu's words. Even the poor Taoist Wang almost broke his power. In this way, several people came directly to the place where the first level of the test was. Behind the Langhushan Taoist temple, on the road leading to the back mountain. A middle-aged man in a Taoist robe was standing in front of a cliff, smiling and looking in the direction where everyone came from. Behind him was a cliff that was dozens of meters long. On the cliff, there were only a few steel cables that were neither thick nor thin connecting the two places. It doesn't look so good when watching anime and TV series, but after seeing this cliff with his own eyes, Liu knew that this thing was not simple. This cliff, let alone other things, just the width between the cliffs, it doesn't look like any extraordinary person can easily jump over it. Yo, it seems that we have to get through this level first. Zusi, who was smoking a cigarette, looked at the cliff in front with interest. Oh my god, the Shianchi mansion is full of these useless things. A voice with a strong smell of chaff came from behind the crowd. Looking at the sound, 2 men and 1 woman appeared in the field of vision. One of the men was well dressed and dyed with brown hair, and the other man was holding a bucket of old jar pickled cabbage instant noodles, eating it so deliciously. Hey brother, eat slowly and don't choke, the girl in the trio said, while helping the man wipe his mouth. Oh, rare, aren't these the 2 brothers Deng Yaofu and Deng Yaokei? Zusi was quite familiar with these people, so he greeted them. What Deng Yaofu? Please call me Smith. Brown-haired Smith said that the name Deng Yaofu was too unfashionable. Come on, don't pretend to be Smith, you. The 2 brothers quarreled for a while, and then a touch of black energy emanated from their bodies. With a sudden force of their legs, they rushed to the other side of the cliff with a whoosh. Sana, see you later. The 2 brothers of the Deng family easily crossed the gap in front of them and shouted to Zusan and Zusi on the other side. Zusi also waved his hand and responded, okay, see you later. Next came a father and daughter. Amidst the laughter and joy, a sturdy man threw his daughter over the cliff. Then he shouted, Dad is here too. Then he jumped over the cliff. But unfortunately, halfway through, he was kicked down by a fashionable young woman with all makup. If you dare to play with your daughter as a discus again, I will kill you. The young woman fell directly to the ground. Only the words floating in the air were left. Wife, I was wrong. So is this guy Fan Yun for your Grey Wolf TSK? Liu complained silently. How is it? Zusan pushed his eyes and asked. In fact, he wanted to ask Liu what he thought of the strength of this group of aliens, but what he didn't expect was, well, not bad. Red lace. Puff. Even Zusi was shocked. No, brother, did you see the quick movement just now? Clearly. Liu showed the Sharingan in his eyes and said confidently, the style is very new. Zusi, the old rogue, immediately had wild thoughts after hearing it. Wang Yi looked at Liu and Zusi, the 2 unruly people, and quickly hid aside for fear of being beaten. But those scholar eyes, is it his ability? I don't know if it is congenital or acquired. Looking at Liu's Sharingan, the 3 and 4 brothers and Wang Yi were very curious. HMPH. The young woman on the other side of the cliff snorted coldly with a red face, but did not say much. After all, she did a backflip in the air by herself, and it was not others' fault for her exposure. Then I'll go down the path first. Wang Yi was also ready to separate from the others temporarily. Along the way, the reason why Wang Yi traveled with Liu and the others was to test Liu, who he had not predicted. But the result was obvious. He could not see through anything. Liu was like a mist. After saying hello, Wang Yi used Teikai power under his feet. He directly and steadily occupied the iron chain. There was no shaking at all, as stable as flat ground. In this way, Wang Yi walked to the other side slowly like an old man in the park. The others also showed their magical powers and passed the cliff in various ways. Ding. Li Yu threw a kunai directly over. The mark of the Flying Thunder God was engraved on it. Well, it was the Flying Thunder God technique. Li Yu learned this when he was free. Put your hands on my shoulders, Li Yu said to Zhang Chulan and the other three. No one knew what Li Yu was up to, but Zusi and the others did as he was told. Zhang Chulan knew this thing. Isn't this the Flying Thunder God? He has finished reading Naruto. Whoosh. The moment the four people put their hands on Li Yu's shoulders, several people disappeared and appeared on the opposite side the next second. Steady and calm. Damn. The crowd watching the excitement was confused. Is this teleportation? Space skills? Although they jumped and flew and used leverage, and although they performed, they looked handsome and pretentious. But how could they be as casual as them and teleport directly? Or teleport with others? Who is this person? What a cool guy. I don't know. It's connected to everything. Hiss. This move is powerful. It flashes directly at a distance of dozens of meters. This person is obviously a LOL player at first glance. Chapter 48. Don't listen to gossip. This is the power of space. Zusan and Zusi only felt a flash in front of their eyes, and the scene changed in the next second. It was no less powerful than Dong's field transformation technique. Now, my heart paid more attention to Li Yu, the mysterious man. Except for the heartless Feng Bao Bao. You are so stupid. Can you teach me? The principle of this thing is very complicated. You probably can't do it. Li Yu smiled at Feng Bao Bao, who looked silly. Don't be stupid. I have always been a smart one. At this time, a shadow came from behind everyone. Looking back, I saw a red-haired young man standing above everyone with two machetes under his feet. Then the red-haired young man slowly floated in front of Feng Bao Bao, looking down at Feng Bao Bao. You are the people who know everything. I have a useless brother. I heard that he was severely punished by a woman who knows everything in the world. It should be you, right? Feng Bao Bao stared at this guy with two big eyes, and didn't react for a while to who he was talking about. What? You want to avenge him? Zhang Chulan stepped forward, and blocked Feng Bao Bao behind him. Yeah. Jia Zhenglian nodded and then said, although he is a piece of trash, he is still my big brother. I'm looking forward to fighting with you at the conference, and avenging that idiot in front of everyone. Then I'll be there anytime. Facing Jia Zhenglian, Zhang Chulan was not afraid at all. Zusan and Zusi looked at the tense atmosphere and shook their heads secretly. Good. The fight hasn't even started yet. An enemy has been established. Zhang Chulan looked at the background of Jia Zhenglian leaving, and twisted his mouth. TSK, who is this guy pretending to be? It's better not to run into me, or he will know why the flowers are so red. Oh, Chulan, it seems that you are very confident. Of course, I'm a natural nemesis for him. Zhang Chulan raised his head. This was not bragging. Now that he has electromagnetic power, he is indeed a natural nemesis for Jia Zhenglian, who plays with metal knives. Following the flow of people to the outside of the competition field, this place has become like an amusement park. It's worthy of being a grand gathering of the alien world. Zusi sighed. Yeah, there are so many people. Can you two restrain your gaze and look at girls less? Zusan said with gritted teeth. Chulan, your third brother is talking about you. Li Yu turned back and nudged Zhang Chulan with his elbow. Obviously he's talking about you. Zhang Chulan was completely convinced by this old man. Hello, everyone who knows everything. Not far away, a white-haired Queen Feng Xian and her brother Feng Xingtong were walking towards them. Haha, do you still remember me, Feng Xingtong, the guy who was scared to pee by you, and didn't even dare to move his hands? Feng Xingtong walked up and greeted him with a playful smile. You still have the nerve to say that? Feng Xian was speechless about this brother with eye bags. Oh, Miss Feng, you are here too. Needless to say, we are all contestants, so we can't be late. Feng Xingtong looked at Li Yu and said, this big brother looks unfamiliar. Is he also a contestant who knows everything? This is my buddy Li Yu. Just follow me and call him Brother Yu. Zhang Chulan said with a smile. My brother Yu is very strong. He is definitely the favorite to win the championship. Oh, Brother Yu must be very powerful to be praised by you like this. That's right. Feng Xingtong and Zhang Chulan were chatting enthusiastically. Feng Xian played a game of staring with Feng Bao Bao. Then third brother and fourth brother, I will take Zhang Chulan and others. to report to the stadium first. Feng Xingtang saw that Feng Xian and Feng Baobao were in an awkward atmosphere, so he hurried forward to smooth things over. In this way, Feng Xingtang led Li Yu and others to the stadium. This time, Feng Xian did not go to find her acquaintances, but followed Li Yu and others. The reason, of course, was that Li Yu attracted her attention. By the way, are you here for the Tangshan talisman this time? Several people chatted as they walked. It's okay, the Tangshan talisman is also good to play with. It seems that you are very confident in yourself. Feng Xian glanced at Li Yu. That's right, let me tell you, if my brother Yu uses all his strength, he can directly break through this Luotian Daiguo. Zhang Chulan said proudly, as long as we want, the championship will not go to anyone else. Then I look forward to your performance. Feng Xingtang is not a person who will argue with you. He will praise you, no matter what you say. Speaking of this, Zhang Chulan, you actually have a lot of attention. You are not a disciple of Langhu Mountain, but you can use the Golden Light Curse and Thunder method, and you are also the successor of the Key-Body Source Stream. Everyone is watching you. Hey, you are crazy. Why are you paying attention to me? I'm a rough man. Wouldn't it be better to look at girls, if I have the time? That's true. Feng Xingtang scratched his head and smiled. As more and more people came around, Feng Xingtang began to introduce these contestants to Zhang Chulan. What about the one over there who is a disciple of Mei Ocean? The guy dressed like an actor from Dayan Club is called Xiaoxiao. The money grubber Beishik Su. The black-haired Zhi Jinhua. And Zhuge King and Zhang Lingaiu who had already met before. I know Zhuge King doesn't listen to gossip. Zhang Chulan complained after Feng Xingtang introduced Zhuge King. Ah. What do you mean he doesn't listen to gossip? Feng Xingtang didn't understand. I'm telling you Zhuge King is a serious person on the surface, but if he encounters others talking about gossip, he will quietly walk away, saying that he doesn't like other people's gossip, and then hide behind and secretly listen to it with Ting Fengying, mainly for excitement. Zhang Chulan whispered in Feng Xingtang's ear. Hiss, he has this hobby. Feng Xingtang heard about this for the first time. If it's not this kind of thing, how do you know? Huh? Zhuge King looked at the two siblings who came forward to greet Zhang Lingaiu, and felt a little strange. I shouldn't know this brother and sister, but why do they look at me so strangely? Hey, little master, we meet again. HMPH. Turn around and leave. Out of sight, out of mind. TSK looking at Zhang Lingaiu, Zhang Chulan also smacked his lips in displeasure. This Capricorn old. Zhang Lingaiu left with Zhuge King. The fat man Kanglang behind him came up and had a verbal fight with Feng Xingtang. And Feng Xingtang, with his big mouth, directly sold Zhang Chulan out. Just when the people around were just getting agitated, the old master appeared with Lu Jin, Wang Ai and the other 10 masters, and Chan Jin's Han. Looking at the old master giving a speech on the stage, Li Yu suddenly had a feeling. I say, Zhang Chulan, do you have a sense of deja vu of the principal's speech at the beginning of the school year in an elementary school? It would have been better if Li Yu hadn't mentioned it. When he mentioned Zhang Chulan, he suddenly felt that it was a bit similar. Well, he was directly led astray. But unlike the elementary school principal, the old master spoke very concisely. After a few words, he was ready to start drawing lots. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49. Come again. Grandma. Everyone, I've been waiting for a long time. I'll stop talking. Since everyone is at the age of vigor and vitality and wants to learn from each other, I won't talk too much. Let's get started. The old Taoist priest waved his sleeves and asked the disciples of the Taoist temple to prepare a red box for everyone to draw lots. Please come forward one by one to draw your own slip. Listening to the words of the young Taoist priest, everyone present began to line up, and soon it was Li Yu's turn. Li Yu took a look at the red box and thought that it should be very convenient to operate the box secretly. Thinking so, he stretched out his hand and rummaged in the box. He opened the slip and took a look. A horse. Everyone, please look at the notes in your hands. Seeing that everyone had drawn a note, the old Taoist priest slowly introduced, the venue is limited. The heavenly stems represent the order in which you enter the venue to compete. There are 4 animals under the heavenly stems. People who get the same animal enter the venue to compete together. Only one person can advance to the next round of selection. After listening to the old Taoist priest's words, everyone looked at their notes, thinking about who their opponents would be. Brother Yu. Zhang Chulan. Bayo Bayo, what did you draw? Feng Xingtang trotted over from a distance. He seemed to want to confirm which field the trio was from, so as not to meet them in advance. I'm Bing Green Turtle, and it's my turn in the 3rd field. Feng Xingtang was very proud. I'm Yi White Tiger. Jaya Flower Deer. Feng Bayo Bayo looked stunned. Hearing that Feng Bayo Bayo was in the A-class Flower Deer, several people present raised their eyebrows. Then you are in the first game. Brother Yu, what about you? A-class horse. Okay. Feng Xingtang was relieved to hear that Li Yu was in the A-class group, but this is difficult. I have to make a decision. Should I watch Bayo Bayo's game or watch Brother Yu's game? Although they are both in the A-class group, the 2 competition venues are held separately, which means Feng Xingtang has to make a choice. Well, Feng Bayo Bayo at least knows something about this, but Li Yu was praised by Zhang Chulan as a god, and her curiosity was completely aroused. Feng Xingtang thought in her heart, I'm going to watch Li Yu's game. After all, I'm very interested in people who can break through Luotian Daijio. Feng Xian emphasized the word breakthrough. She was very dissatisfied with Zhang Chulan's praise, and she wanted to see how strong this man was. Then you have to watch carefully. Li Yu smiled. It is said that a girl's curiosity about a boy is the beginning of a good impression, so don't fall in love with me. HMPH. Then you can rest assured this is absolutely impossible. Feng Xian said firmly. A moment later, Feng Xingtang still followed his heart and followed his sister to the Jialiuma competition venue. There were many people watching the Jialiuma venue. The fat man named Kanglang brought a group of people to the scene and shouted something like Ice and Snow Goddess Linglong. Linglong Linglong, you are the best. Linglong Linglong, you are the best. Love you Lu Linglong. The fat man Kanglang shouted the most vigorously in the whole audience. Fatty, what are you shouting? Feng Xingtang came to the spectator seat and said something while watching Kanglang shouting so vigorously. Curly, you know nothing. Do you know how to cheer? Let the Ice and Snow Goddess Lu Linglong know that we are here. We are always here. Kanglang looked like a brainless fan. Feng Xingtang. Okay. The alien circle is also going to do the fan circle thing. Idiot. Feng Xian's eyes twitched, quite speechless. Li Yu entered the arena amidst the cheers of Lu Linglong. From the cheers around him, he could also tell how popular Lu Linglong was. Unlike the pink-haired girl in the anime, in the TV series, Lu Linglong was a cute girl with 2 buns on her head. Overall, her appearance was pretty good. Looking at the opponents who also walked out not far away, except for Lu Linglong, the other 2 were just passers-by A and B, who didn't show their faces in the original novel. Seeing this configuration, Li Yu silently touched his chin. He had to play this game cleanly. All the contestants are here. Those who lose consciousness or voluntarily admit defeat will be eliminated. Those who hurt others' lives will be eliminated and severely punished. After the Shianshi Mansion disciples said this on the field, the game officially began. The 2 passers-by A and B both set their eyes on Li Yu first. After all, Zhang Chulan, the heir of the key body source, had been praising Li Yu for a long time, and it had already spread. Let's get him first. Passerby A looked at Passerby B. Okay. The 2 reached a consensus to deal with Li Yu first. After all, the heir of the key body source school is the favorite to win the championship, so he must be quite strong. The 2 were also quite strong and rushed to Li Yu using their own kung fu. Watch this. They shouted. No. Li Yu said he didn't want to watch, and he directly covered himself with armed color domineering. His arms instantly turned black, and then he used the technique of strange force burst. He punched the ground. Boom. The ground instantly raised a wave. The 2 extras were not even touched. They were blown away by the impact of the ground. Kalalala. The ground under Li Yu's feet first cracked in all directions. Then it exploded with a bang. Rocks flew everywhere. The audience from all directions looked at the destructive power caused by Li Yu's punch. Everyone was dumbfounded. What a joke. Is this guy a one-punch man? Too outrageous. What kind of monster is this? Gudang. Feng Xingtang swallowed his saliva. Brother Yu is too strong. Judging from the power of this punch, even the horizontal training golden belt cover can't catch it, and it's not sure if it's his full strength. Feng Xian can see Li Yu's strength from this punch. At least in this Luotian grand ceremony, Li Yu's strength is definitely the ceiling. When the smoke dissipated, more than half of the ground in the entire venue was shattered and opened, and the ground was full of rocks. This Li Yu is really not simple. Zusan and Zusi sat in the viewing stand, watching Li Yu's light punch destroy a large area of the venue. No wonder Chilan dared to say that Li Yu is stronger than the baby. The destructive power of this fist alone should not be underestimated. And this is just a fist. It is likely just his flat attack. Especially he also has the pupil technique, the ability to teleport. Zusan was analyzing, and after listening, Zusi took a breath of cold air. Where did this monster come from? Gudang. The two extras collapsed on the ground, swallowing their saliva in fear. Their legs were so weak that they couldn't stand up. Big brother, it's just the preliminaries. We won't have to do that. Looking at the messy gravel under his butt. If this punch hit them, they would be turned into meat patties. Then do you want to fight again? Li Yu raised his fist and shook it, smiling brightly. I give up. Me too. The two of them quickly admitted defeat. Another fight? Grandma. Chapter 50 Brain Collapse. Just like that, the two extras admitted defeat directly. And then, everyone's eyes shifted to Lu Linglang. Lu Linglang stood there blankly, not saying a word. And the cheering group of Lu Linglang in the venue was equally quiet. Unlike the huge momentum before, the venue was now so quiet that it seemed that even the sound of the wind could be heard. Damn, such a beast. No, such a brave guy. How can our Lu Linglang fight? Kang Lang's heart was chilled. After Li Yu easily pretended to be tough on the field, he looked at Lu Linglang not far away. Lu Linglang stared blankly at the dilapidated venue. Her reason told her that she should admit defeat now, but she refused. She is a person who refuses to admit defeat. Even if she was beaten to the ground by her opponent, she would not admit defeat casually. The word surrender does not exist in her dictionary. Come on. Lu Linglang began to circulate ki. At least I have to take one of your moves. You are worthy of being Lady Lu Linglang. Knowing that you are a strong enemy, but you still face him with your sword. Such a brave spirit makes me want to say to Lady Lu Linglang, I love you. I will always be Lady Lu Linglang's dog. Linglang Linglang, you are the strongest. Linglang Linglang, you are the best. Lu Linglang just circulated ki and put on a posture, and the Kanglang on the field was so excited that he seemed to have taken a pill. Shut up, fatty. How can Lady Linglang beat such an opponent? That's right. Shut up, fat man. If you really can't do it, just admit defeat. It would be bad if you get hurt. Lady Linglang, I will be heartbroken if you hurt even a hair. Lady Linglang stepped on me. Where did this pervert come from? Why does he look like the author? Everyone, stop talking. Lu Linglang was also at a social death scene at this moment. What on earth were these fans here for? Looking at the noisy scene, Lu Linglang could only apologize to Li Yu. I'm sorry, these guys were really not found by me. It has nothing to do with me. Lord Linglang, you don't need to apologize. We will always support you. Kang Long in the stands shouted the loudest, looking like he was going to die. He is worthy of being the guy who formatted the hard drive for Lu Linglang. In the competition venue, Li Yu found the noisy sound very harsh. He glanced at Lu Linglang, then smiled and said, it doesn't matter, they will all shut up immediately. Haha. After hearing what Li Yu said, Lu Linglang could only show an awkward but polite smile. Then Mr. Li Yu, I'm going to get on. Lu Linglang got ready with a serious look, ready to take action. Brother, please use less strength, and don't hurt the goddess Linglang. Yes, brother, please show mercy. It's unbearable to listen to. Lu Linglang was speechless. It seemed that in the eyes of this group of people, she was bound to lose, right? Although she didn't think she would win. But, what you said was too sad. Woo-oh. Lu Linglang wanted to cry, but had no tears. Her momentum was suppressed by her own fans. How could she seek justice? Come and attack. Li Yu waved at Lu Linglang. Lu Linglang's face condensed, and she was not polite. With a loud roar, she mustered up all her strength and attacked Li Yu. She looked very imposing. However, it was useless. Under Li Yu's dynamic vision, Lu Linglang was like in slow motion. Li Yu dodged lightly, and the two passed by. Take a break, Li Yu's voice rang out. The next second, a hand appeared in front of Lu Linglang. I just felt a pain in my forehead. Lu Linglang knew nothing. In the eyes of others, the situation was, Li Yu's body movement was extremely fast. After dodging Lu Linglang's attack, he raised his hand and hit her head. Lu Linglang's head tilted back. She fainted. Li Yu acted very relaxed and freehand. Killed instantly. Although I guessed the ending, I didn't expect it to be such an easy situation. Lu Linglang is a well-known alien after all, and she still has some strength, but she was killed instantly by Li Yu's playful head crash. There was complete silence. The referee announced Li Yu's victory. Li Yu did not stop, and walked away arrogantly with his hands in his pockets. Just pretend and leave, cool. After watching Li Yu's performance, everyone put him in the seeded player position. And the next match is Zhang Chulin's most interesting. After all, he is the descendant of the key body source flow. At the beginning of the game, Zhang Chulin appeared in a hooded cloak. Yes, Zhang Chulin decided to hide his hand first. Unlike the original purpose, this time Zhang Chulin went for Beishixu. Ahem. It should be said that it was Beishixu's handicap. Zhang Chulin had already started preparing funds for this game. After this wave of drama, his odds can reach 1 to 100. At this time, if you bet, 10,000 yuan can become 1 million, and 100,000 yuan can become 10 million. Zhang Chulin spent all his wealth, and exchanged for 250,000 yuan of funds. Just waiting for a wave of fat. Sorry Beishixu, small money is still more fragrant. Zhang Chulin, who entered the arena, couldn't help but smile when he thought of the large amount of RMB after the game. To outsiders, this was Zhang Chulin's confident performance. 30 years in the West. Grandpa, the strange people in the world, betrayed you back then, and today your grandson is here to avenge them. Zhang Chulin came out with great momentum. The one who deserves to be overthrown should be the president of the Xianxia Association, the 10 Masters. It's all the strong people in the world. Listening to Zhang Chulin's arrogant words in the arena, everyone was frightened by him. Even the old Qianqi Liu Jin Feng Zheng Heo and others. He is so confident that I underestimated him. Feng Xian narrowed her eyes and looked at Zhang Chulin, wondering if she had misjudged him. I want to overthrow. It's the sky. Zhang Chulin's words made the momentum reach its peak. With a rumble, the sound of thunder rang out in the sky. Of course, this was caused by Li Yu using thunder escape. So, who is going to challenge my key body origin flow? It's me. It's me. It's me. After a while of deception, the three opponents immediately became excited, completely overturned the original plan, and started a battle. With the last person's victory, Zhang Chulin suggested that he sit down and rest, and he would not take advantage of others. Well, I was right about you. You are a strong man. The man sincerely admired Zhang Chulin. He had no idea that Zhang Chulin's next move would shatter his 3 views. When the man sat down, Zhang Chulin quietly stepped forward and took off his cloak, covering the other person. Thank you, I'm not cold. Look at this honest child who is still thanking. Oh, I'm sorry, brother, although I feel guilty, but for my odds, I'll let you down for a while. The wretched smile on Zhang Chulin's face could no longer be hidden. Duang. It happened in a flash. Zhang Chulin kicked him up. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.